recap. So, after a long and arduous journeys and many adventures, our heroes, or misfits, or whatever we uh, are finally coming towards the last leg of the adventures that they'll need to save the world. Since they have already collected all the relics of Genesis, they came in touch with Eos once again, who warned them that in the final battle afterward, there will be a massive cataclysm, and there were two choices to make. One of which was that Ao could help shield the aftermath and destruction that would happen from said cataclysm, or he could remain and basically be a guiding presence for what would happen. However, if he was not able to shield the world, a lot of destruction and many people would die. The seven deadly sins, though some of us kind of debated on it one way or the other, eventually came to the decision that we would want him to end up shielding the world, but this would cause him to go to sleep for 100 years. We also met a family member that's another god of Ao, which is Elisandre, Elinase, Ella whatever. Anyhow, doesn't matter. There you go. All you need to know is she decided to take some interest in Shiziki, and Shiziki has now made a deal with her. And afterward, it seemed he had grown in some way, form, or fashion, and now he can emit his wings as he needs to. Aaron was able to talk to Zeus and make some future plans about him also becoming a type of celestial to be able to protect future generations. Afterwards, Shiziki got in touch with Rowena, who is the queen of Darkholm, in which Shiziki and Dorian had been to not that long ago. Killed some members of her council, spoke to her after they'd found out that she was actually a changeling, which she herself did not know. And then when Shiziki got back in touch with her, he ended up giving her the deal of a lifetime and actually proposed to marry her. Afterward, when she finally accepted after some hesitation, got in touch with Ravella, who is the Princess of Primralty, and Ravella has informed us that we have 3 days to get ready for this wedding that she's putting together. While Ao informed us that the end of days, the final battle, will be in 2 weeks. It will happen at River Run, which some of our members of our group are more familiar with than others. Afterward, we left, and because we needed some means of teleportation, and all we could really get to at the time was Philastrios took us back to King's Crest, where we get to see more of what's going on with the reconstruction of the city, where the Dark Suns have set up an operation there, along with working in tandem with some other kingdoms, particularly Primralty and Sea Shroud. Dorian was able to buy some property there. We made contact with the treasurer from Sea Shroud that's overseeing a lot of the deeds and management of the items that they are collecting. And then after that, we decided to get into quite a drinking competition between Aaron and Phoenix, which went on for quite some time, and I don't even know what exactly played out with that one, to be honest. But afterward, we are still making our final preparations, whatever they may be, knowing that we are expected to be in Primralty in 3 days, and in 2 weeks, we'll come to the end-all of be-all of battles. Until then...
Oh, sorry. I didn't.
Oh, that's fine. No, I haven't even said my final phrase. Y'all know my final phrase? You should know by now. And that's where we're at. There you go.
To clarify, the drinking competition ended with Phoenix getting punched with a face full of blow.
Well, there you go. As it stands, that's what's going on. So.
Brandon, I'm speaking to you as a person, because you are, for the moment, switching characters.
Oh, okay.
Dun dun dun!
You find yourself suddenly cold, having just been in the presence of your fallen family member's wife, and several other acquaintances that you've made in your, at this point, extensive time, since time passes differently in the Outer Planes, in the blessed fields of Arborea. You find yourself standing in sort of a misty void. for a moment you wonder where exactly you are, though when you see a large skeletal robed figure carrying a brass scale standing in front of you, you understand that that is Kalimvor.
Ah, wonderful.
So,
Hello again, old friend.
an echoing voice. Give me actually just a second on that one.
Yeah, give me a second too. I'm trying to turn down Groovy.
You're good.
Well, he's got to turn his little voice mod thing to make him sound all sexy.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, I just gotta turn that on real quick. My
You're good.
apologies. I didn't realize I didn't have this on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Nobody say anything.
Hey, so approximately how much damage will it take to kill Zeos? Just approximately. Like, I want a weird estimate.
Okay.
Make
You
a
can hear me
medicine
now,
check.
right? You can hear me now, right?
Yeah, we could hear you
Yeah.
before. You just couldn't hear us.
Okay.
Yeah. So, a voice, he speaks out to you and he says, "My chosen revenant, I have another task for you.
Oh joy. What is it this time?
This will be the last favor I ask of you before you are allowed your eternal rest. I understand. The plains of Arborea, for those who are there, can be very difficult to leave. I imagine even now in this moment you find a longing to return there. But fret not. The nature of your task is different. You will go back to Alarath. You will assist the seven deadly sins in their coming conflict. But this is not out of anger or vengeance, and you will find that in your reincarnation you will not be guided by such motivations. You will be guided by justice, by divine purpose. And
Good,
first
because
and
you know
foremost,
how the angriness turned out last time.
I'm aware. And first and foremost, and upon your return, you will find that your mind is still yours, unfettered by the shackles of anguish.
Alright then.
In 2 weeks,
So,
my
oh,
uncle, Zeos, will unleash a divine assault on the world of Alarath, bringing forces from beyond the other side of the far realm, forces that originate from another universe entirely, from a universe beyond even the planes themselves.
I'm aware.
You will assist the seven deadly sins in silencing my uncle once and for all. That is your only goal. And you will do so out of your own sense of vengeance, out of your own sense of justice, not one that is imputed upon you. I apologize for the wrath that I distilled upon you the last time. I believed it was what was necessary to ensure the job was done. And to this day, I still believe that the seven deadly sins would not have achieved the outcome that they did were it not for your assistance. You will render them your aid one last time. And after that, I will never call upon you again. As you reap the spoils of your rewards, as you reap an eternal paradise, for which you will know nothing but joy. Do you find this agreeable?
On one condition.
Tree fitty.
What would that be?
I wish to assist the young blood hunter in his path of revivifying what we once were.
You would wish to extend your time on the material plane.
Yes, I want until my people, my what we were is once again flourished upon and no longer feared, but accepted. I have talked a great deal with my loved ones that if a day ever came to where I could assist them in bringing back what we once were, they have also agreed that even though they would not be able to see me for some time, they would see me eventually.
I find this request agreeable, though I find the fact that you have requested it to be rather strange. Typically, those who leave the outer planes feel a longing to return, and you wish to extend your stay away from it. It is indeed quite an odd request, but it is one that I have no issue with granting.
Because because of my longing does not oversee my quest to rebuild of what I once knew was the Blood Hunters. That order is more important to me than a longing feeling to be on a plane of bliss.
I will grant your request under one condition. The
And that
young
is,
Phoenix, the young Phoenix who you will be assisting in this effort, he must be the one to lead it. You will simply offer him your aid.
Fucking human and not as like a fucking heathen.
I will only aid him. I will teach him to be a wonderful and great leader.
Then I grant your request. The moment that the Order of the Blood Hunters has reached its former glory is the moment that your mortal life will end, and your eternal one will resume.
Sounds good.
Go, my chosen revenant, and I wish you the greatest of luck and victory in the coming battle.
I'm sure with the 7, it will be a wonderful, wonderful battle.
And with that, he holds up the scale. You feel
And with
for
that,
a
you need
moment.
to turn off your voice mod, DM.
You are absolutely right. With that, he holds up the scale, and you feel as if for a moment your soul is ripped from your body. You look over to the other side of the scale, and for a moment, you see your own body there. And then, just like that, your body disappears. And then, with a rush, you find yourself with debris and dust beating against your face as you are just soaring through the astral plane at Mach speed, seeing bodies of gods, celestial bodies, broken planets, spirits just passing by you in the blink of an eye before you just tense your eyes shut one last time and find yourself laying on your back in a large tropical ivory city outside of an inn called the Gem of the Sea.
Oh fuck, that hurt.
You're a little achy, but you're able to right yourself easily enough.
Mm. Ah. Well, old friend, you ready for one last battle?
You're speaking to your weapon.
Yep.
It pulses with the beating heart and the weapon. Another thing, the odd thing you've noticed is that the weapon had ceased to function in the sort of traditional way that you were used to it during your time in the Outer Planes. But here, you sense your weapon is back to its full power.
Alright. I'm gonna walk into the inn.
The rest of you, having just completed your drinking competition, and with Phoenix with a face full of blow, you find your prospect Paragon in a rather unbecoming position, laying backwards on the ground as if his chair just tipped over, with his face covered in red powder. And the rest of you
Wait,
see
I thought I was in bed. I thought I got put in bed with Solomon sitting on me.
He did.
That's right. It had been. I thought. Okay, it had been nighttime. Then you
Yep.
find an empty. Then you find an empty tavern area, with a sleeping innkeeper behind the counter. The occasional tavern goer, which you recognize a water ganassi, and the occasional human. You see a dwarf off in the corner. From what you know from Ralty, it hasn't changed much since you were living your mortal life. It sees a lot of visitors. But it's rather sparsely populated at the moment, this particular inn.
I'm gonna go find
And-
a corner booth, a back corner booth, and I'm gonna prop myself up against the wall and sit in the booth, prop myself up in the corner, and just wait.
So you do that, and after about an hour, you feel like a tapping on your armor with this shirtless Water Ganassi male saying to you, "Sir, sir,
Yes.
can't sleep here unless you buy a room."
I'm not here to sleep.
I see. Then would you perhaps like to order something?
Yes.
What
A
would you like?
large tankard. Put it on Aaron Black's tab.
He gives you a confused look. The sin, Aaron Black.
He's gonna put a cog with a 7 on it.
I see. I ask no questions. Coming right up. He walks away, and about a minute later comes back with a pint.
Thank you. Keep them coming. As soon as this one's halfway, bring another.
You got it, sir. Nothing else for me to do. As he
He's
walks
just
away,
gonna sit
and
there and sip. I'm not talking. He's gonna drink them like chug them. He's just gonna sip on them.
I got you. So he walks away and does typical barkeep stuff just to make himself look like he's staying busy. So polishing glasses and stuff like that. And every time you're about half full, he brings you another one. Throughout the course of the night, since you're just sipping, you get through maybe 5 or 6 of them. And then it is dawn, as the rest of the Sins can feel the warmth of the sun and see an orange glow beginning to fill their room.
What? Why are we skipping ahead? Maybe I want to do something that night.
You guys had already gone to bed.
No.
If you want to do something, then let me know.
We skip ahead
No,
to Shaz.
No, we went to bed. No,
Who
we
says, "Well, friend, one final battle." As I look down and say that to my penis. And then I walk into a whorehouse because I'm about to go get married.
He says, "We shall conquer."
Okay. So
We
you
can skip
go
ahead from there.
You can
Use your
split up
imagination.
about 100 gold. Yeah, fade to black. About 100 gold.
I'm just going to pull a
marriage.
platinum from my inventory there.
That'll be 10 platinum.
10 platinum it is. Done. Alright, cool. Moving on.
All right. So the rest of you wake. Who do you think? Which of you do you imagine would probably be the first to rise?
Aaron's gonna go check on Phoenix.
I don't know.
Phoenix.
Maybe I could if I didn't have a giant freaking animatronic on my ass.
So you check on Phoenix, and you have one hell of a headache, by the way. What were you gonna
Of
do? Clea?
course.
I was going to wake up, but I'm slow to move. So I'm there. I'm waking up. I'm just like sitting in bed, like, why is it dawn?
Oh, you think you are? Just wait. Yeah. fucking goddamn it.
And then I'll make my way downstairs.
Ow!
So, Ophelia, you are the first to see a familiar face. A rather wolf-like looking shifter wearing metal-plated armor and a large axe across his back. You
With a hammer on
that
one
to be
side.
Yeah, well, it's an axe hammer, but
It's
you
a
recognize that
really-
to be the Paragon Blood Moon, the very same who assisted you in fighting the Lich Vorkeen up in the Arathi Tundra.
Hey guys.
Hey, you look familiar.
Ah,
Yeah.
Philia.
Hey, what the fuck are you doing here?
Kellenbor sent me here.
Eh,
Apparently, I'm supposed to help you defeat his brother and, save the world again.
That was his uncle.
that would be fantastic.
Oh, his uncle, sorry.
Uncle Ka. Well, fantastic considering our numbers aren't the best. They're not terrible, but we're still gathering things.
I mean,
we most definitely need some assistance.
Philia didn't have her bracelet when Paragon was there, did she?
It's a circlet, and no, she did not. So you recognize a rather ornate-looking crown on her head. Well, circlet that sort of comes down to a point just above the bridge of the nose with a large purple gemstone in the front, made of a very fine platinum.
Would he know it's one of the few weapons?
Probably not. I don't think so.
His
You probably
weapon
won't
does
even
talk
know.
to him.
Your weapon confers thoughts. Yes.
So I'm pretty sure the weapon would know what another weapon of its kind is.
You have a point.
I was like,
Um,
seems pretty solid there, bud.
It doesn't necessarily say words all the time. Sometimes, so most of the times not. But what it does do is it sort of subconsciously immediately draws your attention to her forehead, where your eyes are focused upon this circlet, and you sense
So
a
you're-
great deal of power coming from it.
Your new little piece of jewelry there seems a little bit crazy.
Oh,
What's
you like
that?
it? It's new. Kind of goes with the decor of my outfit. I
Right
like
about this, right about this
tell.
time, right about this time, Paragon, you see a small little black puppy that resembles sort of a black lab, but with slightly more wiry hair and big, bubbly red eyes. It looks kind of adorable if it wasn't for the glowing red eyes. That sort of comes up right behind her calf and just rubs itself against her leg.
Oh, that's new.
Yes, I like him a lot. Easy boy.
Alrighty then. Where's... I'm pretty sure Shizuki's off doing God knows what.
True, he could be upstairs or fucking something.
Not what, but who?
Maybe. You all-
Dorian, Velastros, are they coming to the shindig too?
Uh, yes. If not, we're gonna pretend they are.
Gotcha. And Aaron, I hope to God he has a room here, because I've been kind of racking up his tab a little bit.
Yes, he does. I'm sure he won't mind.
I'm
We'll be
sure
able
not.
to sell, whatever.
Well, I guess we sit here and wait. Breakfast is on Aaron.
Sounds like a
Which,
plan.
circling back to Aaron, you walk in and you find Phoenix just
I'm gonna
Just-
thump him right in the forehead.
you feel a very sharp sting on your forehead, Phoenix, that wakes you up for the morning.
Does it though? Does it though? Because I'm pretty sure I had quite a bit of alcohol, and I was drugged half
Hey,
to
buddy.
death. So does it
And I'm just
really?
gonna backhand him as hard as I can.
Okay, make a attack roll with advantage. This is a strength-based attack. Just roll a d20 with advantage.
Okay, give me a second, cause my unity is.
Question, Phoenix, are you sleeping in your armor?
Yes. Well, I didn't change, so like it's not like I have a choice.
So you're waking up feeling sore as fuck. Okay.
Pretty much.
I gotta roll the d20. Give me a second.
Oh, and if he gets attacked, okay, if he hits me, he also gets set on fire.
It depends on what
With
the
my-
roll is, but it's a
Well,
possibility.
He still gets damaged by fire because it only. Well, no, that's right. Wait, no. I'm pretty sure if they even swing at me, they get set on. Like they hit with fire, don't they? Because we were playing it wrong, remember? And we said.
That's a 14.
Are we literally
So-
getting into another PvP match between players?
I don't think so. So I'll say this, because it's kind of hard to miss somebody who's asleep, but you don't really hit them with a ton of force. You're not the physically mightiest person, so you're trying to. But Phoenix, you just sort of wake up to just a tap across the face.
Well, then I'm not gonna count that.
No.
All right. We're just gonna say that doesn't happen. All right. Yeah. So, I guess I wake up and is Solomon still on me?
Yep.
He
Okay,
he has
okay.
not been asked to leave yet.
All right, then I legit try to pick Solomon up and throw him onto Aaron that is right beside me, just like chuck him.
That's
He's
a lot
heavy.
of weight.
He's very heavy. Make an athletics check. The DC is high, but not as high considering you have monkey's grip.
Yeah. Athletics. There you go. Okay, well that's fucking great.
Yeah, he's
on,
he's
guys.
heavy. He is a, like a 10-foot long tiger
Yeah,
made out of pure steel. He's got some weight to him.
No, figured
But-
that.
Brandon, you still there? Brandon, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Solomon looks at you and says, "Would you like me to move, sir?"
Yes, move. Let's go downstairs.
He gets up, and you're now able to move freely.
Freaking finally. God, no. Oh, my head. Oh, fucking you, Aaron. You dick. Oh.
So,
Ugh.
Tony, where was Velastrios during the night? I imagine you probably drew a hole to your mansion somewhere.
Velastros didn't come to promote.
Oh, he's not there. Okay.
He
Then,
said,
Dorian, you rise for the morning.
No, I don't.
Then you don't rise for the morning. Okay.
I'm dead.
You're not dead.
I jump out the window. I'm dead. I quit.
Are you really jumping out the window?
No.
Okay, I figured as much. So you rise for the morning. And about this time, right as Aaron and Phoenix are heading down the stairs, Shiziki, you have left your escapades over the night. And
Alrighty.
is there anything you would like to do en route back to the Gem of the Sea? Or
Yeah. I'm gonna roll some dice.
go for it.
That is 13 charges back to my compass of explosive translocation. So it's now up to 14 charges. Because it's 2d6
Okay.
plus 4.
So it's full again.
Is that
All right,
full?
I think full is 16, I think.
I think it's 15.
Is it?
I don't know, but I
Something
got
like
14
that.
charges.
Be right back. I gotta...
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's 16 charges, but still 14 is enough to do all the stuff pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you enter the Gem of the Sea, and you see the familiar figure of Paragon Bloodmoon conversing with Philia as they sit at a table sort of off in the corner of the tavern.
Oh, this guy. I turn into the form of his wife. No, I'm not doing that.
You're trying to make him into the angry bastard he was before.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna come back as his wife and be like, "Man, you're never gonna guess where I just was." No. Um, I'll just go join the table and order breakfast for everybody. And I don't care if they want breakfast or not. I'm ordering breakfast samplers for everybody at the table.
Okay. We'll get into what his reaction would be whenever Brandon gets back.
Sure. Anyway,
So I
that's what I'm
think
doing.
this is day 2 in Primralty, so I
No,
think
this
your
is
wedding would be...
so they said in 3 days, and this is the next morning. So yeah, I guess I suppose.
So your
Sure.
wedding would be tomorrow morning, so we're just going to count you as having a day of downtime, but we'll get
My
into that
God,
in a
tomorrow
moment.
morning? It's all happening so fast, boys. I don't know if I'm ready for this kind of commitment.
Okay, so you said Dorian rises, and then you skipped over to someone else. Was there something to that, or did you have something else for me? The first
Not
thing,
at the moment.
I assume the first thing that Dorian does is pray and prepare his spells, because that's what I have to do every morning. So
Okay.
it's gonna take like 20 minutes.
So you do that, and during your prayer, again, your communication with gods isn't always direct, but you gather a familiar face is likely going to be downstairs as you see an image of a armored wolf-like shifter in your head during this prayer, which you recognize to be the form of Paragon Bloodmoon. So you have your prayer, you prepare your spells. And do you make your way downstairs?
Yeah. After I don
Okay.
my armor, because I'm not a crazy lunatic who sleeps in their armor.
I kind of had no choice.
Oh,
I
so
literally.
what you're saying is you have one exhaustion level, right?
I'm not gonna do that this time.
Is Phoenix
But
downstairs?
yes.
No. Wait, what?
Yeah, I said that both you and Aaron walked downstairs. And by
Oh,
the way,
okay.
you were gone, Brandon, but Shiziki has now entered.
Oh, joy. Hello,
And he
Shiziki.
said, "This guy."
Yeah, Dorian,
Hello,
Dorian will
Suzuki.
join once he finishes his prayers.
Okay,
Basically his morning Bible study.
gotcha. So
You
the gang's
there.
all there.
You there. Fire Ganassi.
Who
I
are
guess you're
you?
the one that goes by Phoenix.
Yes, that would be me.
My name is Paragon Bloodmoon. I am a blood hunter back when the blood hunters were
Revered.
an actual organization. When we were honored, not feared.
Hmm.
And Phoenix,
Okay.
by the way, this is not your first time hearing that name. In fact, the surname of Bloodmoon immediately sticks out to you because that
Mm-hmm.
happens to be the surname of your current leader.
Hey,
Granted, it's
oh,
not for much longer, but
I
just
was told. Go ahead.
well, just so you know, Paragon. I don't know where you learned this name, but we have a nickname for him. We call him the Flaming Papa. So just so you know.
Awesome. I will still call him Phoenix.
No, it's Flaming Papa. It's really offensive if we don't call him that.
I'm sure. I'm sure, Ophelia. So,
Well, you do what you want. I got you back there, Flaming Papa.
me and
Alright.
Kellenvor had a conversation. He was the one that
Hmm.
brought me back. I
Okay.
am going to assist you in bringing honor back to the Blood Hunters. I was told you must
Understood.
lead this, so I will be in the background. I will be your personal advisor
Mm-hmm.
until it comes the time that y'all are back to your final glory. And then my body will disappear. But until that moment, I will help you. I
Sounds
will
good.
advise you into our old traditions and our old ways, and bringing us back to bring the Blood Hunters back to what they once were. That is another reason why I'm here. The other reason why I'm here is to help y'all on your fight. That was the original reason. But I have worked. I don't regret it, but it was nice in the plane that I was in, but I have decided to stay longer to help you out. So take my advice and understand that I have no ill will towards you, or any of the Seven, or the Blood Hunters. I want us to become back to being honored once again.
He will intend on kicking ass with us.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
And name it
That
Tabs.
sounds.
Oh, and by the way, Aaron, I've had like 8 beers at this point, and they're all in your tab.
And if Aaron could respond, please.
Also, most
Oh,
of our
God. Oh, and
And-
breakfast. Wonderful.
I've had two.
And what does Paragon say to Aaron after that? If you could please respond.
Love you, man. Yep. Sure. Whatever.
I can cash app you if you need. It's fine.
No, I'm good. I got it.
Just pull out your smartphone.
No, it's 1072. Okay, all right, there you go. Plus tip.
All
Okay,
right.
12.
Well, Paragon, since you're here, we're gonna have a wedding. Who's
Yeah.
getting married?
Yeah, also that.
Wait,
This guy.
which one of y'all's getting married?
That guy, and I just wave. Ugh. Like I
Wait,
shoved that.
hold on. Suzuki.
That's
You're
my name.
getting,
Don't wear
out
it
of
out.
all the people, you're getting married?
1992 gold. Stop.
It's timeless.
Hey,
Out of
as
all
far
the
as
people.
D&D is concerned, Suzuki is the first person to ever say that. That is a fresh phase. That is
And,
a fresh
and it's
phrase.
canon.
Out of all the people in Alara, you're getting married.
Well, I mean, like, you think I was gonna just leave this on the market the entire time? Come on, look at this. Look what I got to offer.
Bloody hell. The world has ended.
Also true.
Lovely. The world has gone to shit.
So something that most of you notice, sometimes whenever you meet somebody, sometimes you can just tell they're different. He doesn't have this sort of, like, he doesn't permeate rage like he did last time. This is still Paragon, and you recognize him, but he seems very different from the last time you met him.
I'm a convoy now, guys. But I know this will probably tick you off, Dorian, but yes, Kellenborg did send me back. Apparently he thought that y'all might need my help.
Is Dorian even here?
Yeah, he is.
I thought he was doing his things. His
It
praying.
takes him
and
10
stuff.
minutes.
It takes 20
He said
minutes,
it
but
took
Dorian
20.
wakes up before the sun, so
Ah, so you are there.
Yeah. Yeah, but Gavin said who's the first one to go downstairs? Yeah, Dorian's probably most likely never been the first one downstairs, but always the first one awake.
This guy? Yeah. The big boy heal? I don't know. Expected. 1,000.
Gotcha.
So you can't keep
So,
spamming it. Ideally,
I
you wanna do-
rolled 5,242 dice.
Yeah, I saw that.
But why?
Because
And you know
he's a
what's
dumbass.
cool? You because I literally sat here clicking until it was my turn to like talk. And you can actually divide the values now in the thing. You can just click on it, multiply it, and then reset it, and then have the sum. It's kind of interesting to know if you like right click on it.
Just so you know, if there's ever a time that you guys have to roll over 5,000 dice at a time, yeah.
You could do that. Yeah, you could do that. Honestly, you could go higher.
Good to know. Good to know.
I didn't even mean to roll that, but
You did.
Okay. Anyways, back to the conversation. Back to the thing. All right. Okay, yeah, Dorian's there. All right.
and this isn't new to you, Dorian. You know that any god of death can create a revenant. So it's pretty much really the only form of undead that is actually acceptable in the eyes of Kalimvor.
Okay.
So it doesn't exactly surprise you that Kalimvor would send somebody, but that is up to your discretion to decide your exact feelings on that.
Just shrug. Cool.
Oh, so I guess I'm here. So what are we doing next? I
Well,
really don't have anything to.
I got a wedding I
really
gotta
go
go
after.
to tomorrow, so
Table talk.
what?
What are you doing over there?
So, who's your best man?
Table talk.
Well, I mean, I do have an uncle.
I mean, your uncle doesn't have to be your best man, but who's your best man? Is it gonna be your uncle? That's cool, I think.
Cough, cough.
Well, I was gonna, to be honest, I probably was gonna ask Dorian, but he's officiating the wedding.
Ooh, interesting. I
So,
don't want to be your best man. I don't know you well enough.
I mean, we did have that rogue that was hanging out with us a while back. I thought about maybe hitting him up, but you know, I don't know where he's at or what he's up to.
Instantly send Carrick a message through sending. I say, Primralty, Shaz needs a best man.
Get your bitch ass here now.
Are you really trying to bring Carrick back into this?
Baby?
No, Nick, you don't understand, Carrick. I was there when they were still playing.
I was
So
there
you're basically gonna make me
1,000
have to do
years
my
ago.
best Chris impression.
Not hard. Not hard at all.
Carrick shows up. Hey guys, what's up, man?
Just act like you're stoned.
I heard you were getting married, Shinziki. That's awesome, man. Penis.
I don't even remember. I'm so sad.
Oh god, please do not bring Carrick back. Fuck.
How did I do? Was that a good Chris impression?
Nah, not really.
You were really off.
Yeah, you're pretty off.
Didn't sound familiar.
Just record. Just put him
This
as
is
like
the-
one of your
here you
voice.
go. Alright, here you go. Don't know, man. Really don't care. Okay, I'm gonna go get high.
Carrick responds back. So anyway, about Final Fantasy.
Or anyways, oh look, there's this hot girl that I can't date.
All right, I feel like now we're just Chris. If you ever come upon this recording, we love you. All right. Sorry, bro.
I love you, Chris. You're a great guy, but
Y'all are just terrible people, I swear.
Dude,
Anyways.
you don't understand.
Yeah, we'll
Chris is
move
this
on.
character.
He is. So, you still have a day before both the wedding and the summit. Just to remind the rest of you,
Wait,
tomorrow is
they're on the same day?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's a busy.
You
I
got
no.
married and then went to a summit.
There was a summit that was supposed to be like shortly before or after. I didn't realize it was gonna be like that same day.
That's why I made fun of you, saying that was the worst honeymoon ever.
Well, I guess that's
The
true.
current plan is the same day. That if
I
you
love you. Yes, I'll marry you. So anyway, to the table.
I'm married. All right, cool. We're married. By the way, I gotta go do something.
He's gonna still be in a wedding dress, and you're gonna be wearing like a suit while you're just standing around this table talking about the future of the kingdom.
Again,
You're like,
why?
sure, yeah. I got this. Anyway.
What makes you think that I'm wearing a suit to the wedding? Ain't nothing to say that the man can't wear the dress too.
Oh
I mean,
God.
it is 2021, so
Is that the year it
Yeah,
is
we're
in
already
Alarak?
like in our-
no, the year
we're
in
already-
I mean, it's 987, all right? Things are a little different in 987 from how they used to be.
Shaziki's gonna start out the first like LBGQ trans cross-dressing community.
For a thing, long before a thing.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Let-
let's get on.
let's come on. We got like 3 sessions before we
Yeah.
get into campaign 2. Let's go.
Yeah. So, as far as the next day goes, and that's also kind of part of the reason why I was thinking you were planning on having both things on the same day.
That's-
You got one day.
That's fine. Oh
Until-
yeah, we're doing it. One day, baby. Come on.
You got one day until both
Well,
the wedding and the summit. To remind
I
the
will-
rest of you,
I
there is
will
going to be a summit that occurs.
Chow down
So
on
you're-
my breakfast sampler. I'll have some eggs Benedict and cantaloupe and some French toast. I don't know what the fuck they got. Well,
You have salmon Benedict.
Oh.
oh my god, no, that I just yeet into a wall, and then I will have a coffee and bacon. Whatever, not having salmon and bacon. Anyhow, I have to make some preparations for the morrow. So, if anybody wants to join me, you're welcome to join me. But I need to go and talk to some folks around here. But on that note, and I assume, Paragon, you were here for... I can only assume they got you set here for what's coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm here to kill things.
Hey, speaking of killing things, you want some stuff? I have all sorts of magical stuff.
Sure, why not? I gotta help freaking.
I have a dancing scimitar.
thing.
You want one of them?
Sure, I can't use it, but yeah.
Well, I'm not going to give it to you if you can't use it.
I pull out my weapon. This is all I need.
It's not what you need, it's what you want. You
This
think
is all
about
I
it.
need.
I'll come back. Dancing scimitar. Could be cool. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. And I will walk out the door. Also, because I'm in town, I'll cast an Arcane Eye, keep it a foot above my head, because that's what I always do whenever I go into a town.
Okay. So, about this time, as you are walking out, it appears as though the first of the attendants of the wedding arrive. What you see appears to be an army, not a small army, but still a sizable number of troops. It is a monarch that they're bringing with them, of elves, with some with blonde hair, some with fiery orange hair, yellow, red, green eyes, and a large chariot that is surrounded on all sides by these troops that is being pulled by some giant lizards. The lizards lay down and the chariot sort of rests a little more on the ground. And I should have had this document pulled up already. Give me just a second. You see an elven male step out, dressed in very regal attire, silken red robes with gold accents that sort of cover in a swirling pattern all across this robe. You see a bunch of banners as well that various troops are carrying, which denote the city of Surinar.
Is that the Fire City?
That is the city of the Sun Elves, which you have not visited.
So they didn't even... They're just showing up and they didn't even get invited. Man, these people are just janky.
You're holding a summit for all the monarchs in the kingdom.
I did not invite them to the summit, but it don't matter. It's fine. It's fine. You know, it's okay. I'll allow it.
So, as he steps out, you
Yeah.
see one of his sort of, I guess I'd say, someone accompanying him. Appears to be like a butler of sorts that was sort of walking on the outside of his carriage.
Mhm.
All rise for the powerful King Luridian Darksbane. As he stands out, and immediately this is a monarch who appears to be very sure of himself. As you know about the Sun Elves, while this isn't necessarily the dominant mentality among Sun Elves, they are a race of elves that sort of tend to have the highest degree of belief in their own superiority. There's many Sun Elves who believe that not necessarily just Sun Elves, but just elves in general are the superior race. And it's not necessarily that something that all of them believe, but it is a common attitude among their people.
You see Velastros in the background going, "Boo, get fucked."
I called it Crab
That Velasquez wasn't there.
You should turn your mic on for that one.
Aaron's just gonna kind of look over and go. He's gonna shrug his shoulders, stand on Solomon, and just keep walking. Or
Okay.
ride Solomon. Like, he doesn't care.
This king, he looks over and he sees a couple of you, and you see him sort of cast a smirk. Before being accompanied by a couple dozen troops, he makes his way, the rest of the way on foot, across the bridge that leads to the Crystal Palace, which is the seat of power in Primralty. And after a few moments, well, not a few moments, after a few minutes, he traverses the bridge and enters the Crystal Palace.
And then
And then that's it. The rest of the troops make their way off to the back of the city towards various different points of lodging, with some others branching off to the outskirts of the city to sort of make a perimeter. But you imagine that's not too out of the ordinary, seeing as how they're about to have all the monarchs in the entire kingdom all here at the same time.
do we know where they're having this summit?
The Crystal Palace.
It's going to be in the Crystal Palace.
Sure, but I'm like, where? Like, it's more of. Here's my question. I don't know what we know. Because I didn't even know the summit was the same day. I knew it was happening around the same time frame, but like, you know, I'll talk to Ravel later, get some deets.
I mean, you would know from the Crystal that just from your time here. I mean, you did do a contract for King Oshaka back in the day. That, I mean, there is a war room. There's also a council room. It could be in any number of rooms, but there's no shortage of meeting places within the Crystal Palace.
All right. Well,
Oh,
So-
man. It's gonna be a long freaking day tomorrow. Ugh.
So, what is everybody doing for the next couple of hours? After a few hours, we'll circle back to something else.
I am headed towards the temple.
Okay.
I don't know what everybody else is doing, but just whenever you want to get to that, I'm headed towards the temple.
Okay. What does everybody else have?
I am trying to figure out a way to get rid of my headache, and whatever else I have that negatively affects me, I am trying to look for a way to get rid of it.
I cast minor restoration.
Suddenly, you feel completely fine. The haze of the previous night, over a few moments, fades from you, and you return back to a feeling of normality.
I look over at Aaron, and I'm just like, "Thank you, but you're a
Wasn't me. Wasn't me. I don't have that ability. Paragon crosses his
No.
arms and
Oh.
shakes his head. Oh, I have a lot to teach you, young one.
Okay, well, I look over
Hello.
at Paragon. I was like, thank you. And Aaron, you're a dick.
Yes, he is. But he's a good fighter. And he knows how to keep his wits about him. You, however, are still very young and have a lot to learn if you are ever going to lead the Blood Hunters.
Well, technically, I am already just never said I was a good one.
Trust me, I will teach you how to lead them. At one point, I led my set of Blood Hunters. You will learn how to lead them all. But in order to do that, you have a lot to learn. Drinking and having a good time is not out of the realm of possibilities to be a good leader. Knowing where your limit is, that is what makes it count.
Okay,
Knowing that
to be fair, this dickhead right here decided to shove heroin or some kind of high drug in my face.
It was sued.
Okay, sued in my face.
I would not talk about drugs like that here. It is not the most appropriate. Whether he did what he did or not, Aaron always has a reason for doing so. I'm sure that you did something along the lines, and he just got even. Aaron is not one for revenge. Aaron has never been one for revenge. He is always one to get even.
Isn't that technically revenge?
No. Two separate things. Revenge will drive you mad. Getting even will square your debts.
Tomato,
You will
tomato,
learn this.
quite frankly.
Anyways, how do you plan on what is your what is your first step to helping me and making the Blood Hunters, just as a curiosity, to back to the way they were?
Well, first off, I must see my people again.
Fair enough.
Second off, I must teach you to become a leader. And then I will be your advisor from that point on. I will advise you in ways of where to lead them, where they should be placed, and how to gather higher ranks and more people. I will build you up to be a grand people of hundreds of thousands of you. To where in case a day like today comes, or like this battle is going to be, where y'all can face in arms next to any of other armies and hold your own. I will teach you how to lead people. You don't have to teach them how to fight. You don't have to be the one that personally get involved into anything. But you must learn to lead them. You must learn to know and to see when people have earned the right to be into a different rank, and when they have tested and proven that you and proven themselves to be one of your commanding officers. Again, I have all the time in the world, but you do not. Yes, I do not die. I can die, but I'll always come back. You, however, have a lifespan. So, the first thing you need to do is understand your people and find somebody that will be able to be your predecessor. The second thing you need to do is make sure that these people will follow you. And you have to do that with your actions in every way of life, whether that's drinking with friends or on the battlefield. You have to prove to them these are your people as well. You know what it means to prove to them. You have to fight the faces of more or less evil. I, as what I am particularly good at hunting down other werefolk like me. You have your own abilities. I would not just have me as your counsel, but I would select one of each type. Lycan,
Ghost Slayer.
fucking Ghost Slayer, all of
Mutant.
them. One of each. Sorry, my brain, it's not collecting. One of each of them, including another one of yourself, of what you are, another one of what I am, to be on that council, so that way they their portion can be heard to your ear. Because if you have everybody, if you have your ear to everybody, you will just get a lot of chaos. So you let them deal with their people and they come to you with the problems, so that way you can handle it. It is going to be the easiest way to handle, especially when you become such a large organization. Does that make sense?
Yes, what you say does make sense.
Because here's the thing. Even great kings have councils. Great leaders of all kinds of throughout the ages had great councils. Even when I was leading, I had two or three others that gave me counsel when there was times that I did not quite know what to do. You will find these people. The older and wiser, the better. Because you are a fire ganassi, sometimes they tend to have hot heads. You need people that will bring you back to level, and people that will help you understand and not just make reckless decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people that made reckless decisions is what made you feared in the first place. So if you want to be honored, you have to do so very slowly. It will take time. You will still be hated on. You will still get grief. Probably if you ever have children, your son's son, that will probably be the beginning of when it is truly people seeing you for good rather than being feared.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time to be able to go back to a former glory. I will be long and happily gone, but you will probably leave before me.
Yeah, understood.
And I will help whoever you choose to be your predecessor. I will still be their advisor. Until it is time.
Really?
What is he doing?
You put that's racist in the
When you said fire ganassi were hot headed.
He said that's racist.
I said it on purpose. All pun intended. But that is all I have for you for now. We have apparently a wedding to get ready for. and the celebration, and a war council. So, are any of the other blood hunters going to be a part of this? Are they coming to join in the fight? Because if they are, it could be a big leap. You should probably talk to your people about joining. Whether
You want
they...
me to jump in on this, Nick? About the blood hunters?
Yeah, Gavin, jump in because Nick won't know.
So, Nick, you would imagine
Hold
the
up.
blood
I
hunters.
did not get after we laughed at the whole "that's racist" thing. After that, I did not get anything because for some reason, kicked me out, or like everybody got muted or whatever.
Oh, I asked if you that I said and asked if any of the blood hunters were going to join in, and it would look good on you to have them join in on this fight.
So,
And then
Nick,
Gavin asked if you wanted him to join in on this.
so what you would gather is that, I mean, if the blood hunters are made members of the Dark Suns, and with the Dark Suns likely going to be taking part in the coming battle, that would mean probably by extension the blood hunters would be as well.
So yeah, yes.
You got to think. I don't know that they are part of the Dark Suns.
No, you don't
Yeah.
know that yet, that he basically sold out the order to a mercenary guild.
So be careful. Like, you would understand that the blood hunters are very big to him. So just choose your words carefully, because eventually he'll find out and kick your ass for it.
You just
But-
tell him, like,
So-
you know, all those things need to get directed to my boss, Ziki. He's actually,
So Phoenix,
It so so some action have been taken to join the or to make the blood hunters better. I don't know exactly how you're gonna feel about this, but I had the blood hunters join the Dark Suns.
you did what?
They have resources and they have good publicity with the people, so I felt it was a good idea
You
to
sold
join
us
them.
to mercenaries.
No, I didn't sell us. I just
Really? So there's anything to do with the
we
Dark
just
Suns.
joined them.
Anything
we
to
just
do with the Dark
joined them.
Suns, there's a contract. There's a contract, which means you sold them. Oh, you
Look,
stupid
you
son of a
should have
bitch.
seen the place that they were living. It was tattered and run down. This was the quickest way that I knew to fix that.
Oh, fine. Who's your commanding officer?
Shiziki.
Son of a bitch! We're all fucked. I'm gonna kill you. I have just met you, and I'm already gonna kill you.
Look. It's not all bad. Now we have a place
Hey, Aaron's gonna jump in.
operations.
Listen. Dark Suns aren't all that bad. I sold my soul to them pretty much. Well, actually, I sold my soul to a god. But anyways,
Aaron,
That's
I don't
beside
think
the
that's
point.
helping. Damn it.
it's going to be okay. They will help. I helped in this endeavor. I made sure the right things got done properly. Y'all will be fine. And the Paragon. Phoenix, let me tell you this. Aaron is the only reason why you're not being choked right now. So, at this point, we should probably go help Suzuki and make sure he doesn't try to run off of this wedding because he gets cold feet.
Shizuki also got distracted along the way and just stopped off at a whorehouse.
Ooh, shiny thing. Ooh, shiny thing. Ooh, shiny thing. Ooh, a vagina.
So let's go find him. As Paragon's gonna pick up his hammer, cross his shoulder, and walk out. And Aaron
Sounds
and
like
Solomon
a
will follow.
good idea. And I follow.
Ophelia, you coming? You might be the only one to talk him into not dying or killing himself or running away.
I'll give it a shot. Why not?
Wonderful.
Goody.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So-
And smack in the back of the head to Phoenix as he walks out the door.
Yeah, damn it. My head already. Oh, well, I think I'm fine, actually. Yeah, now I'm fine. God damn it.
By the way, Paragon is. How tall are you?
I'm. Hold on.
Look in your character sheet.
Yeah, I like.
I'm already looking at it if you want me to tell you.
Yeah, go ahead, because.
You are 6'5".
Okay, there you go.
You and Paragon probably stand about the same height. Paragon's a little taller, but he's also fucking a werewolf and a shifter all in the same time.
Boy's got kinks.
Yeah, he does.
I don't think he literally meant he was fucking a werewolf, but
Actually, he probably is because his wife is probably a freaking werewolf.
possible.
She's probably the same about the same thing as him. Because he wouldn't fuck a ghost or a warlock. It's not in his nature. So,
Well, the only warlock that we know of in the group is Shiziki, so I would certainly hope not.
well, I mean, the fucking profane soul.
Oh, well, yeah.
He would probably fuck another one of his kind.
I yeah. Well, moving on from that.
Anyway,
Moving on from that. Anyway,
Anyways.
back to the whorehouse.
yeah, that was a joke. I'm not actually stepping to a whorehouse. I'm going to the temple.
Okay. So, about this time, you see the gates of the city open again. Now, just to clarify, Primralty is actually not built on the mainland. If you look at your map, it's a couple miles off of the coast with a bridge that connects it to the mainland, but it's not actually built on the mainland. You see this gate open again, and you see a large force of individuals, white carriages, shining, regal-looking armor, as well as what looks like to be some priestly individuals wearing simple robes, that enter the city. You would recognize this to be the Order of Shield and Light. And
Once
they
again, Flash just boo. Standing
They
by
make-
the gate, booing everyone.
he is doing so in spirit, I'm sure. You see the Order of Shield and Light make their way to the Crystal Palace, and in this instance, there is no carriage. Instead, because the Grand Knight, he's not really the type that wants to be just hoisted around everywhere. So the crowd of individuals clears, and you see Grand Knight Duncan, a large, nearly 7-foot tall silver dragonborn with a great sword on his back, wearing golden armor, emerges from the crowd. Now, Dorian, what you immediately notice is that you don't see the Grand Prior.
Okay. Well, I will. I'll just like find a place to where they're like marching past, and I'll just kind of squeeze in and act like I was there the whole time, and just walk beside Duncan.
You do it, and you just so happen, when you squeeze in, also find yourself next to a familiar-looking human, who looks to be in their late teens or early 20s, carrying a familiar battle axe across his back. You recognize this to be Rowan. The last time you saw him was in the Battle of the Underdark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the punk kid.
Well, he was the kid that everybody thought was weak, and then sort of came to his own during that conflict.
Yeah. Didn't I give
So-
him a firebrand too?
Yeah, it is a firebrand battle axe. This is a faintly glowing, orange-esque, brassy-colored battle axe
Oh,
that he
okay.
has across his back.
Okay. See, I thought I gave someone a firebrand and I gave someone the berserker axe. Can't remember who I gave the berserker axe to.
You gave him the firebrand.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ignore him, and yeah, I'll just go straight to Duncan and be like,
As you're passing, he's like, "Hey, Dory." Okay, and drops his hand. The Grand Knight acknowledges you. Dorian. As always, it's something to see you. You're doing well.
"Yes, where's the Grand Prior? I notice he's not accompanying you."
It was determined that it was in the Grand Prior's best interest to not make this journey. As you know, he is
Ill. Old.
over 650 years old. He can't really get around like he used to. He sends his regards.
He could probably teleport, but I mean, you know, he is like the strongest magic user.
He will be here at some point by the end of the day. However, there was no need for him to make the arduous journey.
Alright, well, I guess I'm just gonna hang out with you for the rest of the day.
Well, I have an appointment with King Oshaka
Uh,
to discuss matters
which one is
related
that?
to the summit. That's the king of the Water Ganassi.
Yeah, no, I'm asking Duncan. Which one is that?
The Water Ganassi king.
Hmm.
I feel as though you should know this.
Should I?
I believe you should.
Hmm. You know what? I actually have a wedding I have to go to perform a wedding, so guess
Oh?
I'll see you later.
Are you officiating the wedding?
What? Me? Maybe.
He lets out a raucous laughter. Oh, this I cannot wait to see. This is... Good luck.
You're not invited.
You know what? I would love to have you there.
Oh. I mean, I was just here for the summit, but if there was
Yeah,
no wedding that you would wish for me to
bring
attend,
one.
by all means,
Sure, I get to
sure,
bring
sure.
+1. Yeah,
I'll polish my armor, shine my scales.
I mean, your armor already looks polished. I don't know how much more polished. I can literally comb my own beard in my reflection in your armor. I don't know how much more polished you can get.
It could use a new coat of oil.
You could use a new coat of oil.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Huh?
Huh?
I didn't say nothing. Oh, and what'd you say to him?
What?
When they turn,
You're...
What? What?
You said when they turn, you dip?
yeah.
Oh. Okay. You are now gone.
You dip, I dip.
I was saying the same thing.
Exactly what happened. Actually, instead of dipping, he just kind of like squats while everybody's walking, so everybody just walks past him. He just like,
Dorian! Dorian! Ah, that dwarf. As he makes his way across the bridge that leads to the Crystal Palace.
"Ooh, that was a close one."
And the rest of the troops make their way off to the back of the city, where it seems that most of the new arrivals are heading.
Did I see Karzar?
You didn't see him, but you didn't look for him. You could try to find him.
Nah, I'll just send him a message,
Okay.
and it'll just be something simple like, "Karzar, are you in Permalty?"
Yes. Are you in Primralty? Do you respond?
Man, I don't want to waste my spell slots.
Then if you don't want to waste a spell slot, then he says, if you are, then no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna respond to that.
Okay. So, now I know, you, Sean, you've been patiently waiting to do your thing at the temple, so we'll circle back to that.
Oh, we're doing it now. I thought you were like circle back to that. Like we're gonna wait a little longer. We're gonna circle back to that another time. Yeah, it's fine, man. I got time. If we're good for the moment, we can hit that. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'll
so,
I will prestidigitation myself to get the smell of cheap horrors off me, and I will walk into the temple to go find Ursi and Redleaf.
and you have pretty good inclinations about exactly where to find them. There's a sanctuary in the back of the temple that,
Well, what's going on with the
area.
temple right now? Like, what is there any services happening? Is it just like people praying? How many people? Like, I'm kind of curious, just as a whole. Like, how is the temple coming along? I know it got built, but like, does it look like it's popular? Does it look like what I wanted it to be built
So,
for is happening that way, et cetera, et
one
cetera?
thing that you notice is that there does appear to be an altar. And this particular altar has a angelic figure with sort of androgynous features, not really anything defining. It just looks like, you know, like like the Hippocrates man, basically. No real defining features, but with a set of black wings and a plaque underneath that says the Angel of Death. And it has received several offerings of different herbs, of gold, of different fine gemstones, as well as you also notice the temple has grown in numbers. One thing that you immediately notice that you didn't even last time see is that there are water ganassi in this temple, locals who are now coming here to worship. You even notice one or two of them that come up, bow their heads for a moment, pay their respects, and drop a coin into this like large golden pot next to the statue of the Angel of Death. In addition, you also notice other water ganassi who are walking back into the sanctuary, which would insinuate that they're worshippers of Sylvanas. The sanctuary is growing in the fact that the religion is spreading to the local population, both of Sylvanas and the Angel of Death, as well as there's some new members that you notice, people you haven't seen before. Granted, it's not to sound racist here, but sometimes in their base form, it can be a little hard to tell changelings apart. But you do notice some new changeling faces there that you don't believe you've seen before. They're,
Cool.
it appears as though they've been bringing in new numbers by the day of changelings, shifters. Don't really notice any more vampires, but you don't notice any less either, as well as local population, as the city is becoming more and more a staple of local city life.
Groovy. I will take all that in and continue to go look for Mr. Redleaf.
Okay. So you see him back, and oh yeah, I'll release your characters. So you see him back in the sanctuary, and you notice one of these water ganassi that walks up to you, and or that walks up to him, I mean, and he asks, "In which god's blessings would you like to receive this day?" And they bow their head, take a step closer. You hear a mumble, and he's question for you: Does and it's just because I don't really remember. Have I said anything about the Angel of Death having like a nickname? I don't think so. He's just referred to as the Angel of Death, I
Yeah, it's
believe.
Angel of Death.
Yeah. So he just, of course, may the blessings of the Angel of Death always
He's
guide your
badass
path.
McAwesome pants. No, it's just Angel of Death,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they step away. And after they step away, you imagine he acknowledged you beforehand, and he he sees you and he walks up to you, hold with his arms outstretched. Shiziki, my old friend, it is such a blessing to see you.
Of course,
How
I'll
are you?
embrace
How are you
him.
doing?
Quite well, quite well. And in fact, I don't know if you've heard. I'm here to be betrothed.
Yes, I have indeed heard that you are tying the knot. That is, that's marvelous news, and with a royal, no less. It appears as though you are moving up in the world.
Crazy times ahead. I wanted to have a private word if we could.
Of course. Let us step back into my study. I've long wished to have a conversation with you as well, just to see how you were doing. Updates, nothing too formal. But here,
Yeah,
come.
I will follow.
So his study has received sort of an upgrade as well. Mainly it's the thing that you've noticed about this temple, as the longer it stands there, the more the inside of the temple looks like it should be outside, with various foliage and grass that appears to be just growing out of the walls itself, which you would definitely recognize as a sort of divine influence. Take it as a sign that this chapel has been recognized as Sylvanas, or been recognized by Sylvanas. And so trees have been sprouting from the ground itself, as it's sort of a feels like a natural refuge in the interior of this temple. So he directs you to a large wooden chair. Please, have a seat, have a seat. He lights some incense and says, "Now, what would you like to discuss with me?"
Well, to be honest, I'd like to continue our conversation from last time. I had some questions when I walked in, but I think I've already gotten a few answers just from what I've seen in the short amount of time that I've been in the temple. I take it
Your
you've responded well with the book that I linked to.
This doctrine that you have given to me, I find it to be quite remarkable. Of course, you know my loyalties will always lie with Sylvanas, but I do not shun other gods, nor do I shun their followers, so long as they are righteous. And there have definitely been a number of people who have taken quite a liking to the teachings in this book. Tell me, where did you find this? For this god, this angel of death, I've I had not heard of this individual before you presented it to me.
I don't know where all that came from. I just know that in my the travels I found it, and I found the teachings. I've had to piece this together bit by bit along the way, and I've discovered more since then. Apparently, the Angel of Death is a title. It's a mantle. It's passed down, I guess, between generations. And there's I don't know what you want to call it, a chosen individual, an avatar that carries that mantle.
And
And
so the godhood is inherited, is what you are saying.
something like that. It's a little dark and mysterious, but I,
That is not unheard of among the divine. A deity known as the Cat Lord is another one who passes down their title.
well,
Um,
to be completely honest, Erskine, and this was news to me until recently. I found this out. But I think there was a reason that I was put on the path to find that book, to find everything else, and to find you and put you on the path to teach this. And I'll bamf out the wings.
he immediately, for a moment, he appears speechless. When did you come across this ability?
I mean, I've always kind of had it, but this just recently became a thing that I could step into and do on command. To be honest, I spoke with Ao not that long ago, and during that process is when I came to be enlightened on this and had the epiphany and was told that I am the current avatar. I am the one carrying the mantle to be the angel of death.
He takes a few steps forward and reaches his hand towards your wings. May I?
By all means, I touch them all the time. It's crazy, right?
He he's able to touch them in a tangible form, but he says they almost appear spectral. It's like a hard light in a sense.
Like I said, I think it's something that's bestowed upon a bloodline.
This is quite remarkable. I Were it not for our already friendly relationship, I imagine I would be much more enthralled than I am right now, but I must say I've never been in the presence of a fledgling deity, if I am grasping what it is that you are telling me.
We're figuring this out together. But I do have something that I know I need to do. And I need your help and the help of the people that we've had here. Give me 5 people. I think 5 would be a good start. Of people that have taken well to the doctrine. Changelings, I prefer. Actually, changelings is necessary. And there's something another step that I need to do to push things forward. So, out of all the people that have come here, especially the ones that have been trained in the you-know-where basement, let's bring 5 of them up in here, and I'd like for them to join this meeting.
Um, of course, of course. He he seems to be having a sort of a hard time processing, but he follows your commands and just give me a few minutes. Um, he steps out.
And I'll put the wings away while I do that.
So he returns to you with what appears to be 4 male changelings as well as a female. This is Piron, Zash, Miri, Kara, Betha, and Silifrey.
Yep, yep, got all those names, absolutely, without a doubt. Sure.
What exactly is it you have planned for them?
Well,
They've taken well to your doctrine that you present.
I want them to spread the word, if they're comfortable with that. I think it's time to take the next step for this temple to grow.
Salt and pepper.
I've,
Salt, pepper, and butter.
yeah,
Hey,
and paprika. Um, but I want the temple to grow. I think it's time to take the next step to spread this word. And to be honest, I've spent some time in Darkholme recently and found that the teachings of the Raven Queen are quite converse to what this word needs to be. Now I know that you 5 have spent some time with the brothers and have acquired a very unique and situational set of skills, and I'd like to implement those. If you 5 feel that you're ready to move on and want to do your duty and spread this word and grow our beliefs, this community, and improve the world for our people, I want you to go to Darkholme. I want you all to go to different churches of the Raven Queen. Join them. Get familiar with the heads of those churches, and eventually replace them and implement the new teachings.
so the female speaks up, which you would imagine is Silifrey. She says, "I was but a simple thief before coming here. I will gladly do as you ask, though I'm sure you know how dangerous Darkholme is for our kind.
It
We
is,
obviously have abilities that would allow us to blend in, but if we were ever discovered, you know what the consequences would be."
certainly. I don't know if you know this or have heard, but there's going to be changes in Darkholme coming. You're looking at the future king.
The
Yeah,
Am I?
yeah.
Am I?
so
Nothing on the sweating since
They would probably know that you're a changeling, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
they would.
Yeah. So she says the king of Darkholm will be a changeling?
Changes are a coming.
Piron speaks up and he says, You you have done much for our people. I just hope that I hope this goes well for you. It would be a terrible loss for changeling kind. You would be discovered if something were to happen to you in these endeavors.
Well, that's why I have to put these things in place. I'm not the only change that's going to be happening to the city, which is why I want you five to be there. The changes that you'll make if you can implement this doctrine, in time, changelings will no longer be persecuted against so much. We'll put these new ideas into people, and over time, those beliefs will take hold. And it'll be a new dawn for our kind.
Silverfray speaks up again. We will do exactly as you ask. I humbly accept this task, as I imagine the rest of my colleagues here do as well.
Groovy business. Hey, I'm afraid I also have other businesses to attend to. Um, so he should be here. Is Vark still in the temple?
He's around.
I don't
Would you
suppose.
like us to fetch him for you?
Yeah, that'd be grand.
Piron says. So, Piron leaves.
Hey,
And,
while he's gone, hey Ursine, just I don't know if you're aware, but I honestly I care for your safety. I don't want to make sure that you, with the times ahead, have a means to protect yourself. I want you to have this, and I'll reach in my bag and I'll take out a staff of fire.
A staff of fire.
Staff of fire. I will bequeath this upon you, my good disciple.
He looks at the staff, and I don't think I can use this.
What is he? He's not a druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard?
He's a paladin.
Really?
He's an Oath of Ancients paladin.
Oh my god. Okay. Does he wear plate mail?
Ironwood, but yes.
Why does he wear ironwood? Only druids wear ironwood.
I just thought it would be cool with him representing a nature-based deity and being Oath of the Ancients.
Oh my god, he's nature-based, but he's not even a fucking druid.
You can be a nature-based cleric.
Oh, shut. Well, if you can't use that, then here, have a dancing scimitar, since I don't think... Because I'm not going to give that to the other guy.
Thanks, though, I don't particularly... As he pulls his large hammer off of his back, that's not exactly my preferred armament.
Well, you can use that and this. It operates independently. That's the glory of it. If you
I see.
if you activate it, it does its own thing while you use your hammer. I just want to make sure you're protected. And I put the flame of fire, or the staff of fire, back in my bag with a hoof.
He says, "But it would be rude of me to refuse such a generous gift. Thank you very much. I will treasure this always as a symbol of our friendship."
Spiffy. Alright, let me go talk to Vark.
Yeah, Vark walks in.
I will eliminate that from this. I assume you're putting that on his character sheet or something. He now has a dancing scimitar.
Yeah, I'm putting in his character sheet.
Alright, I only have like 47 other items to try and give away.
Here's a shriveled pancreas.
Go find me Vark.
After a short time, Vark enters the room, though he is in his high elven form that he likes to keep. Long blonde hair, blue eyes, wearing simple leathers, dagger on each hip. Well, it has been quite some time, my friend.
Yes.
How are you?
Let's walk and talk, my friend. Ursine, I'll leave you to your business. You five. I look forward to doing business with you in the future. Vark, shall we?
Of course. Lead the way.
So I'm gonna get right down to the brass tacks. I'm gonna need your skills here tomorrow.
Oh? What do you need?
Well, we have quite the summit coming up tomorrow. I don't know if you are aware.
Oh, I have heard. The rumors have traveled throughout the town. Monarchs from across the land will be gathering here for a very important meeting.
Well, here is what I need from you, my good sir, that I can only trust. With this such thing, I want you to find your staff the, well, amongst the staff in the castle. During this summit, I'm sure those high and mighties get quite thirsty, and you might need to bring out some punch or water. I don't care. You need to be amongst the staff that is waiting on those people, and you need to serve them a very particular concoction.
This needs to be fed to all of the staff.
Uh, I need you to spike the punch, as it were.
I see. Are you aware that your own commander will be in attendance as well?
Yep, I'm quite certain. I'll handle that.
Indeed. So, what is it that you would have me, what would you have me do? What
Well,
is
this
this
is going to be
concoction?
for quite a number of people, so I'll give you a few of these. And I will hand him 3 potions of Call of Savagery.
Okay. So you just wish for me to, at some point, to make sure these find their way into the drinks of the guests.
At the summit, yes. And I
Consider
trust
it
that you
fine.
can handle everything else along the way. But if you need an extra hand to make sure that you get into the position you need to, I can help you, but I don't think you're going to need my help at all.
He scoffs. I'm a master thief. When I say consider it already done, consider it to be a 100% chance of success.
All right. Well, hopefully
When we
the
know
guests won't get
Suzuki is
mouth
hit.
herpes. Because if they succeed on this, they still get mouth herpes for 1 hour. Anyway,
So Suzuki is a dick.
when has that ever been the case? But he now has 3 things of Call of Savagery. And on that note, I will walk out of the temple to go rejoin everybody else.
Okay. Hey guys, can we take 5? I've had like 4 beers.
No. Yeah. Okay.
No. Okay. I will be right back.
So yeah, let's just give an entire group of people some fucking shit to make them all fucking want to kill each other. Because that's a smart idea. Right, Suzuki? Am I the only one here?
No, we hear you. I don't think Suzuki's answering.
No, he's
I should have shut up. So that way you thought you were talking to yourself.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've talked to myself. I mean, I wouldn't have taken offense to talking to myself. I talk to myself all the time. So what do you think of Paragon?
I mean, almost if he didn't try to kill me. I mean, he's pretty great, you know?
He has not tried to kill you yet.
Yeah.
No, he has not tried to kill you at all.
I know. I said, yeah, yet.
You gotta think. Paragon's old enough to probably be your great grandfather.
You know, You know, Zeke literally texted me in the middle of that conversation, and he's just like, yeah, when he back when he was the leader of the order, everybody underneath him died. So just saying.
Well, yeah, everyone under me did die because we became peaceful people and we got attacked.
Under your
I don't even
command.
know if were were you there for. You weren't there for the Vorking fight, were you? No, that was right before you joined, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you joined like right after the Vorking fight. But
He was there when what to go fight Squidface.
Yep. I was actually there at the very beginning of that.
yep, that's when you started with Squidface.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, and
Pretty
now
sure
you get to
that's the
be.
time you shot the freaking dragon point blank range.
Yeah, so I can actually get to the link to that fight if you want to see it. Just as a reminder where it all started.
Oh, no, I'm good.
No, I feel like I should.
no, I'm good.
Definitely. Is that the first time he actually shot something in point blank range?
Against a green dragon. By the way,
No, actually-
you'll find that Paragon is cleared, and I'm clearing Aaron as we speak.
I actually already had access to them.
Oh, did
They
you?
finally popped. Yeah, they finally popped.
Oh, okay.
But it's cool. I get it.
So,
But yeah, Nick, it was. You gotta. So Aaron was my first ranged really character. So this is why I'm going.
back to your roots
Double-bladed.
in campaign 2.
Yep.
And now I'm playing my first range character.
Yeah. So,
Well,
all right.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what, Gavin?
What's that?
Guess what Paragon has now. He now has pack. He now has pack mentality.
Oh,
so I get
whenever you go to
advantage
the
on.
full form?
No, he like always has pack mentality.
Oh, cool. That's a that's a Order of Lycan thing.
Yep. Because now that anytime we're in combat and I'm within 5 feet of somebody, which means all I gotta do is stand right next to freaking Phoenix, and I get advantage on all my attack rolls.
That will come in handy.
Yeah, well,
Wait, so you have to be standing by another
Yeah,
blood hunter?
He has to be within
No.
5 feet of an ally.
yep,
Oh,
5 feet
ally.
of an ally. Yeah,
Oh.
the blood, it doesn't matter, but you and Dorian are the only two close in combat fighters.
3, 2, 1,
That
go.
is true.
Let's go. What are we doing?
Three,
Yeah,
two, one,
let's circle back because yeah. All right, so you headed back to the rest of the group.
Join with the rest of the group.
Does anybody have anything they'd like to accomplish throughout this day of downtime before we get to the wedding and then the summit? Because I would like to get to the summit tonight if we can.
I, at some point or another, will go into the dirty, dirty streets of Primralty and go find myself a person, and I will true polymorph him into a chibi.
Oh, really? Just some random person?
I said a dirty person.
Oh, okay. I mean, on the lower level, way in the back of the lower level in sort of the alleyways, you pass by an alleyway and a gentleman says, "Could you spare some coin?"
And then poof, he's a chibi.
Chibi! I'm cleaning up the streets or get rid of the homeless.
You're just gonna turn from a hobo into a chibi. Okay. Are you gonna say anything to him? Or is it just without hesitation? Can you spare some coin? Poof.
Why are you so dirty? Chibi.
Well, and then he becomes a small chibi version of himself with a little pin on the back.
And I will attach it to my scarf.
Do it. Okay.
All right. Let's get to the wedding.
Yeah, everybody good with that? Everybody good with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
So,
let's go to the wedding.
so throughout the rest of the day, you see various other forces appear. At one point, you definitely notice the Dark Suns get there, and ooh, are they armed to the teeth. The largest force by far, they spared no expense. And you imagine having been from the Dark Sun yourselves, both Aaron and Shiziki, this is a cake gig that anybody would have been stupid to pass up on this contract. They're literally just getting paid to accompany the commander and go to a wedding.
I
And
do need to check in on something. I assume Vivi was gonna bring my uncle with him. Is my uncle
yeah,
there?
he is there.
Okay, cool.
Though he didn't have to walk himself, he rode in a carriage. Which carriages are aplenty. Again, all pulled by desert lizards. Not a ton of horses over in Angaria. They get the, occasionally you'll see one, but the common mode of travel is these giant lizards. So they arrive, and you see Vikman Vandalore looking as stunning as ever in his spiky black armor and eye patch with long white hair. He gets out and begins making his way into the Crystal Palace. And throughout the rest of the day, you just sort of see that's basically where everybody goes. You imagine all the monarchs are probably just staying in the Crystal Palace for the night. There's all kinds of different like royalty suites there for visitors. And immediately, though, when the Dark Suns are done, they do not disperse to the back of the city. They all scatter around the perimeter, as well as basically line the entire bridge, the Crystal Bridge that leads to Primralty, because they're worried about things like, let's say, a spellcaster casting a meteor from a mile away. The Spelljammer Squadron's there too. So,
God.
whenever they branch off, it appears that one member of the Spelljammer Squadron sort of goes with each battalion of troops, just to be there in case they need to counter some spellcaster who might try to take advantage of the fact that all of the monarchs in the entire kingdom are gathered in one place.
Cool, 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 cool. I'm not going to interrupt this, and I'm sorry to make more talky talks, but I do need to talk to Vivi before the wedding. So I'll say that. At some point, I will go talk to him.
Okay, you would know where to find him. So
Well, I'm letting everybody do their thing, because I just did a whole thing. So if anybody else wants to do something
yeah,
before that.
I figure, but yeah, I'm just letting you know when it gets to your time. You know how
Yeah,
to
yeah,
how
yeah,
to contact
yeah,
him.
cool.
Just let him do
All
his
right.
talky talk.
So you all notice, and just to cover, and I'm going to try to cover this in the most transparent and simplest way possible. For the rest of the session, there's going to be a lot of, and I mean a lot, of major figures who are all present at the same time. So I'm going to go over it one at a time. The gnomes with King Galaton Mechadrome, they all arrive.
Yep, that's where I'm going.
I would assume. The Ergonasi with Empress Karugine Shotogust, they all appear, as well as the Wood Elves with Archdruidess Rakessa Whisperwind, who is their queen, as well as the leader of the Terran Concordance, which we haven't dove that much into. They've just kind of been mentioned. Governor Desmond Highmark, which a lot of you probably don't know, but Shiziki does. He's the one who's kind of been running things in Sea Shroud. King Rurik Donax, who Dorian is very familiar with. Obviously a dwarf, king of the
Hey.
dwarves.
The monarch dude, does he have Ekram as his bodyguard?
Governor Desmond Highmark?
Yeah.
You know what? Why not? Yeah, he has Ekram.
Noise.
That just made my soul a little happier.
King Yord Terramain of the Earth Ganassi is also present. Obviously, Queen Marina Dromakill is there, as she's the bride.
Who's that?
King Luridian, that's the kind of the person you're marrying.
Her last name's Dromakill?
Yeah.
That's a fucking weird name. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's not gonna be
Well,
Dromakill much
actually-
longer.
Actually, your last name gets changed because it's Drow.
Oh no, we're not doing
Yeah.
that.
Because your
No.
father's a monarchy.
Yeah, Drow are matriarchal. I'll just be interested to see how you handle that.
Yeah, matriarchal. Yeah.
We might have to call out this
I
wedding,
wanna see how you
boys.
talk yourself out of that
You
one.
didn't think this through? She's like.
Did I think it through? No, fuck no, I didn't. I don't ever think anything I think through.
Just because you're the king doesn't mean shit. You have no more power in the throne to her servants. You're still a dude.
No,
Yeah,
the
here's
king
the
has more power than their servants do. But
you are the queen in
not-
that relationship, sweetheart.
Yeah.
You are the bitch in that
You wear
relationship,
the
sweetheart.
nightgowns.
You think I'd have a problem wearing the nightgowns? You boys don't know me at all.
But the thing is you are the queen. You may be the king, but in the Drow society, you are the bitch.
Yeah, I think your name would actually turn into something like Shiziki Belrook Dromakill.
Oh, just
no,
put
your
in the
name
put
would
in the
actually
hyphen.
change into Suzuki Drorook is actually what your name would change
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Drorook?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to pick up the.
It couldn't be Bellkill? Kill
No,
Bell?
'cause you have to take.
No, it's the
her,
first part.
Yeah, you have to take her. First part.
Anyway, let's keep rock and rolling.
So,
We
Yeah.
will. I'm gonna be like a 13-year-old schoolgirl that starts writing her name with all the different last names of the boy she likes. Let me see what this would actually be.
So, King Loridian Darksbane, who you haven't met as of yet, but he is the king of the Sun Elves. He was the first to arrive. King Onidrel Nightbrook, who you met some time ago, but he is the king of the Thalassians, the Moon Elves. Of course, Commander Vikman Vandalore, Grand Knight Duncan Gray, and as well as you notice when Vivi walks into the palace, he has Azrael with him, too. Of course, representing as the head of the well, technically you're above him. You're the boss's boss in that instance, but he is over the Spelljammers.
Yeah, I was the co-founder of the Spelljammers, but I'm also his boss now, so I'm sure. Yeah, whatever that means. Anyway,
you're the boss's boss, as well as someone who you recently came into contact with. Sultan Zahir Ashmorn arrives with all of his Fire Ganassi individuals too.
is Heginu
Well-
there?
Heginu is not there.
That's fine. I'm just gonna throw it out there. There's a lot of people showing up to this that were not invited.
They said quite some time ago, whenever you first brought up the summit.
Never
that
brought
the
it up to the
word
Fire
would be-
Ganassi.
No,
Never
you
brought
didn't.
it up to him.
But you didn't necessarily have to. The people that you did bring it up to, like
Sure, but I'm
King
just saying.
Rurik,
Hey, do we have to argue about this? Let's just go.
like King Rurik Donax, he said
Yeah.
that he would
I'm
spread
just
the word to all of the
picking on
other bosses.
details. All right, let's go. Moving on.
So
Let's keep that
that
momentum
is all the
going,
people
boys.
that have arrived,
Alrighty.
as well as right at the end of the day, right as the sun's going down, as it's just about to crest over the surface of the ocean, you see which draws some alarm at first until you notice the color of the scales, a silver dragon fly into the city with a familiar-looking archmage sitting on his back. Of course, this draws a lot of attention as people look up and gasp. Draws some panic, but when people notice the color of the scales, they calm down a little bit, though a dragon is still a dragon.
What is that, Velastro's rolling in now? All high and
Flying
mighty
in
in his
on-
style.
Flying
My
in on
God.
blue.
Big dick and swinging like a chandelier. Alright. Anywho. I suppose that evening I will go and talk to Vivi, or I'll let Aaron
Without
go
your
talk to.
dragon.
What?
Yeah, without
What's
your
that?
dragon, you're gonna go talk to Vivi without your dragon, right?
I don't have a dragon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh man, what a dick move! But I applaud it, good sir. My God, you set yourself up, and I still just walked right in there.
That was pretty good.
I did. All right, yeah. I'll get
You walked
props.
right into it.
And I'm going to talk to the gnomes.
Go talk to your
Okay.
gnomes, man. I'll get my thing later.
Both could sort of walk in at the same time.
Okay. Well,
Ezekiel, you're
we
at
can
the
only handle
bridge.
one thing at a time, so let him go talk to his gnomes. You got this.
Okay. So, when you make your way to the Crystal Bridge,
I cast Hex on Aaron as he walks into the gnomes.
are you being serious or are
No.
you fucking with him?
Fuck him.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let him do his thing.
They escort you across the bridge, and you imagine you're probably only being allowed across because you remember the 7 deadly sins. It's sort of locked up tight in there. But you're escorted, and
I mean, and I would also think because of my rank in these 7 deadly sins.
well, just you're a member of the 7 deadly sins. That's enough to get you across the bridge. They lead you into the Crystal Palace, take you down up a spiral staircase to a room in the back, and these gnomes step aside, sort of ceremoniously, like beat their rifles against the ground as they set them upright. Stand, well, I can't really say stand tall, but they're gnomes. Straighten their backs and allow you to pass.
Ah, old friend.
Aaron, it's good to see you. Tell me,
You
how
as
are you?
well. I am good. Very good. I have a new design for my arm I just wanted you to take a peek at. That is currently being built. I'm gonna hand him the same design that I gave to Wilhelm.
This is a nice piece. Tell me, how long did it take you to design this?
Weeks.
Well, that is very good work.
Yes, I have a very good friend of mine. You know him, Wilhelm.
Yes, I have met this human.
Yes, he is currently working on it for me, as I am here on business.
Indeed, he is quite skilled. I do believe he actually, I remember him from long ago. He trained under some of our more notable craftsmen.
He's the
Yes.
reason why I am what I am.
Indeed.
So,
Yes, what do
I
you
know
know
y-
of this summit that is to occur tomorrow? We are to speak about the future of the kingdom.
yes. We are going to be asking a lot of people. Hold on.
I look forward to it. Oh, you need a second?
Yeah, I gotta. All right, you're good.
Okay.
Yes, but it is not necessarily of good terms of why we are discussing what's going on with the world.
I sense there are dark days ahead of us. I've always had a
There
good
is.
question about these things. Well, one thing that you can trust is I will forever be an ally to you and by extension your group. You have done much for the Gnomish people.
Yes, and I hope that you were able to rebuild and build bigger and better.
Our walkers have been replenished, and as of now, our military is recovered mostly. We suffered great losses in the Battle of the Underdark. That I will not lie about. Though our riflemen are quite skilled, since we tended to find ourselves in close quarters, their advantage of range was, well, it was not quite the determining factor that it usually is for us when it comes to warfare.
Well, let me tell you, because I was part of the reason why you've lost many forces. The dark days that are coming will make you lose even more than what you did last.
let me tell you something, Aaron. Us gnomes, we are a proud people. We are a race that came from nothing and have built ourselves up despite our stature, despite our feeble might, to where we rival the other races of this kingdom, and we did that on our own. There is nothing that the gnomish people will not return from. There is no foe that is too great. There is no battle that is too grand. No matter what the days that come ahead, I know in the future that my people will be as strong as we have ever been and continue to get stronger. Though I do weep for the lives that will be lost, I do not take for granted a single soldier's loss. It is a sacrifice that we are all willing to make.
Well, I am glad in that. And after this is all said and done, I would like you to come back to Promalti and speak with me and Wilhelm. We are building something that I cannot yet disclose, but I want you to see its creation and give input on it. We're
I
still
shall.
working things out. Someone of your stature would definitely help improve what we can build.
I will bring myself, as well as my head engineer, Gizelfix Ferdinand. He'll accompany me as well, if that's okay with you.
Yes, that is fine.
And just so you know, this particular gnome that I will be bringing with me happens to be somebody that taught this very same Wilhelm that you speak of.
Sure, Wilhelm will be very happy to see them again.
Indeed. Well, I look forward to the events to come tomorrow. Be sure at some point you share a drink with me.
We will definitely share one before tomorrow's end.
Take good care of yourself, friend.
You as well, but I have a wedding to get ready for.
Go with grace.
You as well.
And
walk out.
before you even get to the door, so as you're approaching the door, you hear like some speaking on the other side. Just stand on my shoulder. As when you get to the door flies open as you see two gnomes, one on top of the other's shoulder, fall backwards before they abruptly get up, grab their rifles, and stand proudly up again, acting like it didn't even happen. They're like 2 feet tall, so.
And what were you two trying to accomplish?
Just open the door for you, sir.
I appreciate it. Don't hurt yourselves now.
We would never. They look at you almost offended.
Take care. As Aaron's just gonna walk past.
All right.
And he's gonna go meet up with Shiziki.
Why you been with me? I don't want to talk to you.
You're going to see
You say that to him.
Well, he's not even with me right now. I don't know what he's doing.
I'll ask you, Sean. Would Shiziki have waited for Aaron to finish his conversation before going to meet with Vivi?
No. I'm
No,
trying to
you're
do.
not there?
I'm trying to go, and that's not me trying to be a dick. I'm just literally like I need to talk to Vivi, and I want to go and do that.
Okay. So, you see several members of the Dark Sons. This is a crowded palace, by the way. Just letting you know. With a diverse group of very powerful people all present at the same time. But you are immediately recognized by a couple of members of the Dark Sons. Nobody you recognize. One human, one dragonborn. They immediately notice your rank on your chest. And, Major! And they immediately stand at attention and salute.
I will do the salute and everything, and then also do finger guns. No, I just do salute. And then I will make my way directly towards Vivi because I don't need to spend time with the small fries. Let's go.
Yeah, they attempt to lead you, but you end up sort of leading them as they follow you. Um, and to the point where when you round the last hallway, last door on the right.
Grooviness. Alright, I'll go and find my way towards the commander.
So you knock on the door, and you hear a word, "Come in." And you enter the room to find Vivi with his back turned towards you, his arms crossed across his back, looking out a window over the lake that surrounds this palace. Doesn't even turn around at first to acknowledge you. Shiziki. And then he turns around after he acknowledges you.
Commander, and I'll give a respectable salute.
At ease.
Thank you.
Please, have a seat.
Uh,
As he beckons you over to a very nice looking wingback chair.
oh, yes, I will sit down and make myself quite comfortable.
What did you wish to speak with me about today?
Well, I think you might already know some of the topics at hand.
The summit?
Sure, but well,
I sense you and your group are ushering in a new age, and I find that to be very commendable.
speaking of a new age, there are definitely changes coming. Um, one of those things is, well, let's be honest. I'm betrothed to a queen, which makes me the future king. I can't very
Yes,
well
I'm
be a
aware.
mercenary and a king at the same time. Seems to be a bit of a conflict of interests.
It saddens me to acknowledge this, but you are right.
I know that my contract was coming towards its end, and I wanted to talk to you about a few things that we might be able to look upon for the future. In all honesty, Commander, I don't foresee us terminating our relationship in entirety.
I would certainly hope not.
But after the wedding today, or I would even say after you did read that report I sent you, I assume, because I sent him
I
a
did.
breakdown of everything coming up in the 2 weeks.
Our troops have already been prepared. We've already begun discussing battle plans and readying our resources.
I would still very much like to be involved with the Dark Suns for that battle. So this is my suggestion, pending your opinion, of course. After this battle, when everything's settled and done, I will officially retire. Unfortunately, there's just no other way to go about things, but I would still love to be affiliated with the Dark Suns, involved however I can, if not just even an honorary position. But I can't be tied to two loyalties to two different places to the degree I need to be as a king and as a major. It's just not. It's not possible.
I understand this, and your contract expires in 3 weeks. Um, I imagine when that day comes, you will be, of course, unable to renew your contract. However, do not be mistaken. You will always have a place in the Dark Suns. You will always be a brother to us, now and for forever.
That's that warms my soul. But pressing matters are attending, so let's not sit here and jerk each other off. I do have some things that we do need to cover to make sure that you and I both have, and the world itself has as prominent of a future as possible. And to be honest, I have a few favors to ask. Think of it as a wedding gift, if you wouldn't mind. I have
All right.
just a handful. In fact, and I will reach into my bag and I will pull out a list of things that I wanted to ask for Vivi. Favor number one, if I may. I would like to retain ownership of the Raptor Races Stadium.
That has been acquired by the Dark Sons.
Well, in more of an honorary capacity, I honestly just have very strong emotional attachments to Jumbaloo there. I really would like to at least co-ownership. I just want to make sure that I'm still involved with that.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah, okay, we can do that. For the sake of Jumbaloo, let's get it, boys.
33. Well, it's not like he doesn't have a plus 17.
I didn't even need to
No,
spin on it. Oh, okay, that's too much. That's too much. I apologize. Anyway,
That is the least of the requests that I can honor. Of
all right.
course.
Favor number 2. I took in Phoenix's guild. Part of a good portion of that was the fact that I would be to go to and overseeing that. I would really like it if Phoenix could go ahead and take in more of an authoritative position over that if I'm not going to be involved. Make sure where he can operate that independently. I have the utmost confidence that he can, but I'd really rather not hand that off to somebody else. It's more of a, if at all possible, eliminate the middleman that I was going to be between him to you, and let him have the authority, if nothing else, to handle his own people. I just don't want him to be put into the wrong hands after we made such a deal with them on the context that I would be involved.
It is not unheard of for us to commission individuals as officers if they represented another organization prior to enlisting among our ranks. You will be made a lieutenant when the time comes that you retire, and will take on absolute control of the Blood Legion.
And last but not least, and this is probably the smallest thing here, I need you to tell a little fib for me if you could. And I apologize having to ask for this, but there's no one else I could.
A fib. What is it
Quite.
that you have in mind?
I need you to confirm the death of a prince.
And what is the name of this prince?
And I will change my my appearance into Prince Rainer. In
You
the
wish for me to bring this up tomorrow?
in the upcoming battle, there will be many people involved, and chaos will run amok, I'm sure. I need someone that has the reputation, the seniority, the utmost respect that his word is absolute truth. To say without a doubt that a certain someone was witness to pass in battle and his body was destroyed beyond recognition. But that's why I need an eyewitness account to confirm that he had passed and will never be returning.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to ask for another roll on this one.
Do you really ask? Do you really even have to ask?
If he'd rolled low, I only have people roll if failure is possible. So it was possible, it just would have taken a really low roll, but I still had to have him roll for it. This isn't the first clandestine thing that I've signed off on that I've agreed to. So at the very least, yes, I can go along with this.
And you may
And
need
I
some
can
things
only-
to help confirm this, and I'll reach into my bag and I will take out Rainer's crown and I will just quietly set it on the ground in between us. The real Reiner won't be coming back to dispute this, but I'm sure you could already assume that.
I had my suspicions long ago. After all, it is not often that you hear of a royal suddenly appearing after many years of absence.
Oh, he came back, and then shortly afterward, he was not going to come back again.
He chuckles. You are by far one of the most interesting members that I've ever had the pleasure of joining my guild. That I can say for certain. It saddens me greatly that your contract is coming to an end.
Like I said, contract may be coming to an end, but I definitely foresee us working together quite a bit in the oncoming
of
days.
course. Of course.
Well, if you don't mind, I
And-
have other things that I must attend to, and I will reach out to shake his hand. And as I do, I will actually put my hand in my pocket right quick first. And I didn't say this, but I meant to. I will grab a note in my pocket that I wrote shortly before this, and then shake his hand and pass that note off into his hand.
He takes the note.
The note says, "Do not drink the punch at the summit. XOXO with respect, Shiziki." P.S.
Oh my god.
He looks at this note, gives you a suspicious glance with like a raised eyebrow. Safe travels to you, Major Belrook.
And thank you for providing the security detail at the summit to make sure nothing iffy happens.
You are quite welcome with another raised eyebrow.
And I will leave the room.
I guess I'm gonna pass Shizuki and going into.
You're going to speak with him too?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Also, I
so-
will flip a coin in the air and cast Galder Speedy Courier and put another note and be like, "Oh yeah, I meant to give this to you the other day." And I will send the Life Hunter Scythe to Vark.
You're just looking to give random shit to random people. Okay.
Yeah.
So you send this ivory white scythe over to Vark.
I mean, I don't know who else is gonna use it. Actually,
Okay,
you know what? I'm gonna hold on to the Life Hunter Scythe. I won't do that quite yet. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Anyway,
He's
that's
only
it.
getting more shit at his wedding.
Right.
I actually put together a gift registry.
Anyway, keep it going. Keep going. Keep going. We're going. I'm done.
So you, Aaron, walking down the hallway, you are, and for once, you actually feel like you're given proper respect, as they salute you and say, Lieutenant. And they lead you to his office, and you are rounding the curve down the last hallway, right as Shiziki is shutting the door.
Oh. Hello, Shizuki.
I'll give him a high five.
As
And
I'm
that-
literally
I pat him on the booty as he goes by.
gonna-
I give him one, and I do one of those like, good game,
You do
good
like,
game.
You do like a football butt slap.
Yeah, just like good game.
When he does that, Solomon, I'm gonna look at Solomon. Solomon's gonna catch the last bit of his ass with his tail.
Oh, you wanted one too? Good game, Solomon. Good game. And then I will continue making my way back where I was going.
Okay. I imagine during this whole ordeal that you were in traditional Dark Suns attire, right? Okay. So, you knock on the door, and you hear a word, come in.
I walk in.
And when you walk in, Vivi is actually just standing right there in the middle of the room, like he just got done talking to somebody. Ah, Lieutenant Black.
Commander.
How are you?
Um, been better, been worse?
Have a seat. What do you wish to talk about with me? As he beckons you over to a solid black wingback chair.
I sit. Solomon kind of lays down beside me.
He sits in a chair opposite you. Speak your mind, Lieutenant.
I have a proposition for you.
Oh, anxious to hear it.
I'm going to make a very generous donation to the Brotherhood. Once they are built.
Once what is built? The Blood Legion.
No. The Blood Legion. Well, that is another thing that I must talk with you about. But let's talk about this first. Wilhelm, the one that has the warehouse that I obtained.
Yes, the famous inventor. I know his name quite well.
We are building something, and it's an automobile.
An automobile. What is this automobile that you speak of?
It's a horse-drawn carriage without the horse.
Interesting.
I'm going to donate 100 units to your men of various different ones that we are going to build.
So this is a carriage that can propel itself.
Correct.
That is quite a novel idea. That's interesting.
You are going to get the first of them before they go out to being sold on the market. And any
That
new
is
ones we
indeed
get, you will get them first.
That is indeed quite generous. Forgive me, I'm having a hard time picturing this, but if it is truly what you speak,
Not a schematic.
you pull out the schematic?
Yeah, just like a basic blueprint, like that it shows what the vehicle is, not like details, just a like kind of like a pencil drawing.
Okay. Marvelous. I don't quite understand exactly how it works, but based on your drawing, it's an impeccable device.
Yes.
Forgive me, engineering isn't exactly my forte.
And that's understandable. That's why I'm going to, after this world-ending battle that's going to occur, I'm going to need immediately at least 100 men to be able to train, to be able to operate these things. They're going to need to learn how to operate these things so that way your men can use them.
This is an interesting proposal. Were it not for not only your standing within this organization, but as a member of the Seven Deadly Sins, I would be approaching this deal with some skepticism. But you have taken many steps, you as well as your friend Shiziki, to earn my trust. I will give you the benefit of the doubt of this. I will at least want to inspect the device for myself upon its completion. But once you demonstrate that it is as effective as you claim it is, I believe this could be arranged.
Wonderful. And for the Blood Legion, a good friend of mine has come back from the dead.
Really?
Yes, Kellenborg.
That is not something you hear every day.
Kellenborg brought him here as a revenant. Again. For the second time.
Is this the individual who wished to destroy the morale of my troops in the Battle of the Arathi Tundra?
Maybe.
I figured as such.
But he is here to help Phoenix. He is a blood hunter back when the blood hunters had their old ways. When they were honored and looked upon as heroes more than scared upon and feared. So you will meet him eventually, but he will be following Phoenix around. He will not join the organization, but he needs to have the same access as Phoenix does. In order for Phoenix to become the great leader I know he can be, Paragon will help him.
If
It
this
is with
individual begins to sow discord in the same manner that he attempted to do in the Arathi Tundra, this deal is null and void. However, until that point, so long as he continues to be useful and helpful, I can honor this. But know that
he's
he
no
will
longer
be
different.
entering
He's
this
no
agreement
longer
on thin ice.
he's no longer this angry person. There's a difference about him. He no longer comes with a purpose just to kill one thing. He comes with the purpose of growing and helping. It is a lot different.
I will allow this because I trust you. Were it not for this, I would not even entertain the idea. I just wish to make that clear.
Understandable.
Now, were there any further matters to discuss?
That is all I have. May I take my leave?
You are dismissed.
I will salute and walk out.
Okay?
That's all I got.
All right. So, is there anything else that anybody wishes to cover until we get to the wedding? And also a question to the people that are here. Do you want to dive into it, or do you want to wait till next session?
Uh,
Let's get this wedding over with.
Oh, okay. If you guys are good with that, I'm good with it.
I'm gonna go true polymorph another dirty person.
You can only do that once a day.
Yeah, I did it yesterday. Now it's a new day.
I'm pretty sure you did it today.
Nah, he did it yesterday.
Was it? Okay. All right. You round an alleyway, and in the like the back part of the city, the not so nice part, and you see some person who's just strung out in an alleyway with red smeared all over his face.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Yeah, I have some suit.
Chibi.
And Chibi of a sued addict with red smeared all
Actually,
over his
first,
face.
I'm gonna reach into my bag and be like, "Hey, I have this Squidward the wand. Do you want it?"
Yeah. Give it here. Give it here.
I give him Squidward the wand, which is cursed, I guess. I don't know. And then I turn him into a chibi.
Right as you turn him into a chibi, he was in the process of gnawing on the wand for some reason, and so the chibi is of this hobo with red smeared all over his face, with a wand stuck in his mouth, and one eye rolled backwards.
I will delete that from my inventory of Squidward the wand. Don't even know. I don't even think I ever figured out what it did. I just have it that I put it in my inventories. Anyway, that's what I did after talking to Vivi, and I will go make my way back because I gotta get married today, tomorrow, whenever.
Okay. So, on your way back, you encounter a Valastrios and a Blue who have landed in the city.
I will give my wave and nod to Valastrios from a distance. I won't approach him because Valastrios
Because he's
is,
Valastrios.
yeah, want me to like murder him or something too. I don't know what his deal is. He's
Gavin,
weird.
do you remember? I can't remember her name for the life of me, but she was the one in charge of all the like evocation wizards.
Oh, Ayumi Yuko.
Is she there?
Does not appear to be.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would just advise Blue to go ahead and morph into his human form.
He does it and takes the form of a young adult human. Blonde hair.
Do I see Shiziki?
You do.
I will wave him over to us.
He is waving you over.
I will excitedly run over to Valastrios. Since he's always like, I don't like you. He does like me, guys! And I'll run over to him.
As soon as he approaches, I just immediately. I did not wave you over to tell you that I like you.
Sure, you didn't wave me over, quote, quote, because you didn't like me, quote, quote.
Correct. Anyways. So.
I'll look at Blue. It's because he loves me.
First time Blue will be introduced to people.
Blue actually, he gets close to your ear, Shiziki, but you still hear it, Valastrios. I think he actually does like you. He just doesn't want to say it because he's Valastrios.
Blue, I gotta ask you a very honest question right now.
I love questions. Ask, please.
Do you want a cloak of arcane retribution?
I would love a cloak of arcane retribution. How did you know?
I give him a cloak of arcane retribution.
So
he throws it over his shoulder.
I'll pull out a pearl. Now, Blue, you cannot accept that if you cannot cast the correct abjuration spell for identify to know what it does.
I know. I didn't attune to it. I just wore it. Look, it's all blue and it's got this like bolt of magic on the back. It looks so cool.
And tonight you will identify it. How do you know that that wasn't some type of cursed object that he gave you, and now that you're wearing it, the curse sets in?
Because I assumed Shiziki wouldn't curse me.
You assumed Shiziki, this guy, and then just points at Shiziki. This guy wouldn't curse you.
Shiziki, would you ever curse me?
I mean, there's a fair chance I actually would, yeah.
Oh.
But decent reasoning! But I'm just
immediately takes it off and throws it and, like, crams it in his bag.
I mean, it wasn't. I'm just saying he's got a fair point.
Don't trust people.
It's like, I'm only, like, 3 months old.
Yes, which is why you were learning quickly.
I will delete that from my inventory that he has the Cloak of Arcane Retribution now. There we go. It's one more thing gone.
Gavin, please add that to his inventory on his character sheet for campaign 2.
I'm making aware that he has it.
We're gonna go fight Blue in campaign 2, and he's like, I got this Cloak of Arcane Retribution from the old mage.
I only have like 43 other items to give out. I'm like motherfucking the Arcane Santa.
Shiziki, this is the first time that Blue will be in the company of others, and will make his first appearance before the kings and queens of the land. I do hope that everything will be kosher.
I mean, as kosher as the world where there has to be a gathering of all the leaders of every kingdom while the impending apocalypse is happening in 2 weeks? Yes.
As you and Valastrios just
I don't believe him.
Stare.
Valastrios just narrows his eyes.
Do I need to contest that with the charisma roll, or
No,
that's fine.
Trust you. I just rolled it just to roll it, but he just doesn't trust you.
Okay.
Hey. So.
To be honest, Valastrios, this is the prime opportunity if you're going to introduce someone. Most everybody's attention's going to be based elsewhere on, well, to be honest, myself.
do you think anyone here would want to capture, detain, hurt Blue?
I think most everyone that's here is more concerned and worried about what's going to be happening to themselves. Most of the people here don't necessarily know about the impending possible doom coming up, but they do know that there's a change of power happening with the new king being involved. So they're probably going to be more focused on making whatever relations they want with me just for political reasons on the upcoming future. I don't think they're going to be here necessarily for Blue. That doesn't mean there isn't anyone that's looking into that, but nothing that I would suspect.
Blue says, if I might, I have an idea. Just tell the Empress who my mother was. I think that should solve everything.
Hmm. Yes, let me and you will make a round of introductions. Shiziki, would you join us?
In fact, I will make absolutely certain that Blue carries himself well as best as I can. And I'll do a little shimmy shimmy dance right in front of Blue and help become
Counterspell.
inspired. He can't counterspell inspiration.
Counterspell.
You can't. Yeah, it's not a
Ninth-
spell. You
ninth
can't.
level counterspell.
You can't counterspell magical effects.
Blue is inspired by my dance.
He even says to you, "Oh, I have to learn that dance, Philastrios."
Hmm. Oh, you know what, Blue? I cast Modified Memory to erase the memory of what just happened.
Counterspell.
Counterspell his counterspell.
God damn it.
Counterspell
What?
his counterspell at 9th level.
You're using a ninth level slot. You know, I'm gonna have to make a ruling here. It's not exactly by the book, but I'm gonna say that if Blue doesn't remember the act that inspired him, he wouldn't be inspired.
Well,
But,
let's
no,
say
I won't
this.
do that.
What does he
But,
remember instead? No, if you want to, man. I don't need. If
no,
you
no,
want
I
to.
was just joking. But I
Oh,
do.
so you're not gonna modify memory.
No, I wouldn't modify memory like that. Betray his trust. No, but what I do want to do is make introductions to. First, I want to go to the Sun Bros, and then
As in the Order of Shield and Light.
no. Sun Elves.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't. I just need to tell the guy to go get fucked again.
That it would be King Luridian Darksbane.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Uh,
who's the Empress?
Oh, you know what? I'll get back to that.
Karugine Shotogust. I will eliminate any confusion. I will post them in Discord now.
Okay.
Hey, Gavin, can I say something completely irrelevant and then we get right back to what he's doing? Because I meant to
Sure.
do this last night. At some point while I was out last night, I wanted to buy a kazoo.
You got it. It is a nice pink kazoo.
Alright, I'll
And
put
it
in my
has-
inventory
and
pink
it has the
kazoo.
little- It has the little fluttering things on the end too, so that
Yep,
when you
yep,
blow
cool,
it, it sort of
cool.
flaps.
Done and done. Got it. Alright, that's it. Go back to what he's doing.
Yeah. Basically, what I want to do is I just want to walk Blue around to main key people is whoever Blue points out, and the Sun Elf King, and I need to have a conversation with that guy. And who is it that controls? I don't have. Do I have my map? Yep. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, get my map. Who is up there near Galberg?
Oh, who's over Galberg?
Yeah.
That would be Empress Karugine Shotogust.
Yep. That's her. Need to talk to her.
Okay.
Yep. And then Thalasia.
The person over Thalasia?
Yep.
So not the Sun Elf.
Well, no, I want to speak with him, but then the two main people that I want to speak to is the person over Galberg and the person over Thalasia.
King Onidrel Nightbrook is his name.
Which one was he?
He is the king of Thalassia, the king of the Moon Elves.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Can I find all three of them together since they're all elves?
I want to. Well, not all of them are elves. I mean, Karagine Shotogus, she's an air Ganassi.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. If I can get
But
all three,
I'll.
that'd be perfect.
So you want all three?
Yeah, or one at a time, however, whichever you want to do it.
If you want all three, you can pull it off. But you have to talk to the right people and get them all. And
Nah, too much.
if you want to do that, you can. We can just fast forward if you want to do that.
You know what? Let's go to the Empress first, and on the way, I will just make it to a point where I walk out of my way to find Loredan, and as I walk past him, I'll just whisper, "Get fucked." And then keep
Why do you hate him so much?
because the Sun Elves cause the Sundering.
Well, yeah.
So
Okay.
fuck.
Well, yeah. Okay.
And
So
trash and disrespected me. So fuck that nerd.
I mean, he is a sun elf. They think elves are better than non-elves. So, first order of business: Empress Kargin and Shoto guest. You find several samurai who are within the palace, all adorned with red splint mail armor, katana across their hip. They take you back to a room on the upper floor. Seems to be the one that she chose. On the highest level, directly overlooking the bridge. And
Oh,
you
excuse me.
knock and you hear a soft female voice on the other side. Enter.
I will direct Blue in first.
He walks in. Oh? You're not one of the sins, she says before she notices you. This individual is wearing a loose green kimono that, as well as just some sandals. Her hair tied into a bun with, like, the whole chopstick thing going into the bun on the back of her head. And turns to you with her arms folded together so that one hand goes inside the sleeve of the other. And then she notices you. Your name was Thalastrios. I remember you.
I'll hold up a finger. Like, is there anyone else in this room?
A couple samurai.
We wish to speak with you in private. Your guards here, they can remain if you wish, but I wish to place a ward where no one outside can see or hear.
One of the guards immediately interjects. My lady, it is quite all right.
Yeah,
Kirame, take your subordinates and leave. I will be okay.
you may still enter, it's just you won't be able to hear or see.
Well, not much point of them even being here if that's the case, is it?
Well, if they're here, they can see and hear, but if they're outside of my protective ward, then they cannot.
Kurame, I trust this man. It is okay.
I will cast Private Sanctum.
All right.
Yeah, so we're protected from divine magic. Can't see or hear inside.
You mean
there.
divination?
Yeah, divination. Can't see or hear inside. So Empress, this is why don't you introduce yourself?
He immediately prostrates. My name is Blurikil.
I will grab him and rip him off of the ground.
What was... He says, confused.
He is the Silver Dragon, heir to...
My mother was Alfalazash.
And you are...
I am the last living descendant of Bahamut.
So you bow to...
No one.
There. Now stand tall. I will like grab his shoulders and like pull him back so he's like standing up taller. Quit slouching.
My ancestor is the god Bahamut. My mother was Alfalazash, who protected your people for a millennia. and I wish to do the same. She's speechless. Her mouth is just open in awe. She walks forward. Reveal yourself. Which he does, and the room is barely big enough for it. But he's able to sort of tuck his wings in and curl up a little bit to avoid slamming into the ceiling before he turns back into his humanoid form.
Now-
She starts shedding a tear and she says, I'd lost all hope.
Now he's been under my protection and my training for the past couple months, and I am telling you this because in the Arathi Tundra, I will build him a tower of his own.
Anything he needs. You look just like her.
He needs isolation from publicity.
I will spare no expense accommodating the heir of Bahamut with anything that he may need.
No, you're not listening. He needs, if you could, tell your people that you have erected a holy ground for his mother, and that it was not to be disturbed by traffic, just admired from a distance. And when Blue is ready, he can reveal himself. But in that time, he needs isolation, time to learn. It will take me about, I don't know, a year to build his tower to the specifications that he needs.
A holy ground will be erected for Alfalazash. And he will receive all the solitude he needs, but as well as our absolute protection when the time comes for him to reveal himself.
He is, keep in mind, Empress, that he is still a child. So he needs time to grow, to learn.
Of course. Forgive me, I thought that the lineage of Bahamut had been wiped out. I did not know that Alfalazash had offspring. He was the only one.
Unfortunately, when we found him, he was the only one.
Dragons rarely lay a single egg. What happened to the rest?
It is too gruesome. I would rather not.
I see.
Let's just say that the Lich had other plans.
You have my gratitude. I cannot express the degree of gratitude that I hold for you for keeping him safe.
Who's this other guard? What is he doing?
They left.
Oh, I thought there was one that stayed.
No, they left.
Oh, okay.
She told them that it was okay. You imagine they're probably right outside the door, but they are not in the room.
Now, I will be introducing Blue to the other members at the summit, but where he will be and where we plan to put his location, I only wanted to share with you. It's just something Blue and I have spoken about.
Of course, and you can guarantee his safety.
I will be teaching him ascending spells soon, when he's ready. He's already shown a great affinity for the arcane, and he'll be able to contact you frequently. I was hoping maybe at one point he can come spend time, an internship, but to treat him as such of an intern and learn from society. I cannot teach him society. I can only teach him arcane.
I will make sure he is taught in our traditions our honor. If he wishes to be trained in combat with a katana or any various other weaponry, I could arrange for that as well. His anything that he may need will be given to him.
Does he need a dancing scimitar?
Maybe.
You already gave him a cloak, like goddamn.
Maybe Dorian needs a dancing scimitar. Never asked him.
Blurkill leans over and whispers in your ear, Velastrios. The way she's looking at me is making me embarrassed.
Well, that's another emotion you must conquer.
I don't like being worshipped.
You are not worshipped. You're revered. She is honored in your presence.
I see.
Be
Okay.
proud.
He speaks to her and he says, ma'am, it's hard for me to understand what you and the rest of your people, when they find out about me, are going to think about me. I mean, you hold me in this regard because of a mother that I never even knew. I just want to help. I just want to learn more about where I came from.
And once we are done, Blue, you and I will be building your tower. Will take a better part of a year for me. You will spend that time with her, and then you will join me back up in the tower once I'm ready, and then we can continue your training.
Of course, but you're still going to be there, right? Like I can still see you, right?
Well, I will be in my tower, you will have your tower. I will make sure that not only do I erect your tower, but I erect a teleportation circle that links directly back to mine.
Okay. Anyway, ma'am, it's been nice to meet you.
Empress. She does have a title. She did earn it. Use it.
Empress, it's very nice to meet you. And she immediately bows and says, "No, the honor is all mine.
Now,
Heir of Bahamut."
Empress, outside of this room, I would please ask you, do not bow to him. We must keep some form of subtlety. This is not the appearance he will have forever.
Of course. Yeah.
So if we could have some type of subtlety.
Just one second. Okay. So she looks at you and she says, "Of course, I'm well aware of the need for appearances and subtlety. It's a part of the daily life of a royal.
Oh,
Until the time comes where my people are ready to learn of his existence."
I think it'll be nice if Blue, when you go to spend time with the Empress, you instead of polymorphing into a fully grown man, you polymorph into something like a child. You would fit in more when the schools and the learning.
Should I look like an air ganassi?
That's between you and the Empress.
She just says, "Take whatever form you like. I'm the Empress. I can explain anyone's presence. Well, I like my form now. I'll just be a little younger."
Yeah, perfect. Now, we have others to meet for the summit. I would love to introduce you to an old friend of mine. I saw the Brotherhood of Shield and Light around, and I have an old friend with them I would love to introduce you to.
Oh, who might that be?
His name is Prior Griffin. He is the Grand Prior.
I know the name. An old friend of yours is the Grand Prior of the Order of Shield and Light. How well connected are you?
Oh, me and the Grand Prior knew each other. I think it was about 500 years ago. I first met him. I wouldn't say that we're very close friends, but
But you are human.
me. But what is human, though?
A race that rarely lives to be older than 90.
Then I am not.
You are a peculiar one, Philastrios.
I'm an archmage. It is my job to be peculiar. Anyways, do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
Just that I look forward to what I believe is a budding relationship between you and our people.
Between Blue and your people. I have
I
no
sense
desire from you or your people.
I sense the events that have yet to come, that you will be directly involved in events that shape the future of our people as well.
Yes, this is true, but it's irrelevant. Anyways, good day, Empress.
Blessings of Bahamut upon you.
Yes. Alright, yeah, I think Velasquez is gonna go find Griffin if he's here.
You're able to find him.
So he did show up?
He did. He just teleported himself later. There was no point in him making the long trip, but he was able to get there.
Okay. Yeah. Then I will. Is Shiziki still following us around?
No.
Oh. Yeah, then we'll go talk to.
You waved me over excitedly, and I came a coming, and then you just like left without really even saying goodbye, and I'm just like, oh.
It was kind of like about this point, Velasquez would just look around and be like, "Where did Shiziki go?"
I went off to go find somebody to touch Jim. No. I'm not gonna say that. Anyway.
I'll just.
I'm
That's how I'll
around.
spend the rest of the night. Is I'll just start introducing Blue to people that I know and actually think are decent people. Like
the Grand Prior and
yeah.
I assume. Oh, I'm sorry. I
The
didn't.
guy over Gearsdale, yeah, him.
that would be King Galaton.
Yeah, King Galaton. I know, tell King Galaton, like, I know we don't have much in common, but with you being an inventor and me being an inventor of the arcane, this is
You
good.
would know that the gnomes, they have kind of two specialties. Yeah, the mechanical is one, but they're also pretty proficient practitioners of the arcane as well. They've got a lot of mages in Geardale.
Hey Gavin, refresh my. Is the wedding today? Now, are we on the day of the wedding?
It's in the morning. This is like the evening. It's in the morning.
Well then, I assume at some point I will be busy making preparations and whatever I need to be tied into for the wedding. So, you know.
Getting a suit fitted, all that stuff.
Hey, by the way, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go talk to King Oshkosh Magash.
So I do have.
What?
I do have one thing I need to say to Griffin.
Okay.
While
you're able to meet with Griffin.
while Blue is kind of off to the side, I will just look at Griffin, and I don't think I have. Yeah, I have message, and so I will use message, and I will just like look over at him, and I'll just whisper. Events are unfolding faster than expected. Soon the eye
will be released from its prison.
Can he respond?
Yeah.
He just says, I have been waiting many years for you to finally be free of the bonds that tie you.
You've been able to find a way to destroy the artifacts.
Unfortunately, no. All we know how to do is lock them away. But I don't know the means by which you speak of that you will free yourself of the eye. But when you do, please bring it to the desecrated vault.
I will keep it. I will keep it. There's no sense in having two in the same place.
They will be safe in the vault.
Together. Which means if someone does break in, they will have both. I'm not prepared to take that risk. You are dying. You are old. You cannot protect the vault forever.
And where will you keep this eye?
That'll be for me to know, and no one to ever know.
I'm trusting you on this, Velastrios, but please, when you become free of your shackles, do not willingly again become a slave. I am all too aware of the temptation of the relics of Vecna. Do not fall prey to it again.
I will nod to him, and I will return back to the conversation with Blue and whoever the fuck he's talking to. Probably run-
Blue's telling you, he points to a member of the Dark Sons. They have fancy armor. Why is it black? Why do they have spikes on their armor?
That is a really good question. Why don't we go ask them? Oh, look, that's the commander right there.
You're gonna go talk to BB?
I'll just walk up and be like, "Now
He's
Blue?"
in his room, but
Oh.
you could
Oh,
speak to
well.
him.
No, if he's not like mingling, no.
No, all the major leaders are sort of under lock and key right now, just to keep them safe.
Okay. Yeah, then yeah, I'm done. That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
like the same thing, right in the middle of like the main hall. I'll just draw a door and open up my mansion like right in the middle of the main hallway.
As you're walking in, Blue's saying, like, I mean, do the spikes even do anything?
Probably not. I think their theory in the Dark Suns or the Sun Dogs Mercenary Guild, I believe their main theory is to drown their enemies in their own blood. I think that's their mantra.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, it's quite peculiar.
You're so
horrible
ignorant.
topic for
Just so ignorant. Keep on going. Yeah, alright.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So, anything else before we get to the
Rapid
wedding?
fire! Rapid fire! Go do it quick. We're gonna crank this out. Shiziki will turn invisible and make his way towards the king's chambers.
It will be paralyzed.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
So you turned it.
And I turn invisible. And I walk to the king's chambers.
Make a stealth check. You would have disadvantage for being in heavy armor, but it's just a straight roll because you are invisible. So, advantage and disadvantage cancel out.
Okay, stealth. Let's see with my +1 to stealth. Luck point! That's a 16, baby.
I gotta roll again. Alright. So, you believe that you are unnoticed.
Alright.
You don't know for certain, but as you're making your way into the king's chambers, you do pass a couple of their guards in their scale armor and tridents, and they don't seem to pay you any mind.
Right before I walk in, I will put my hand on my chest and go Verni, and I will take out my scepter, and I will make myself look like Rainer, and I'll change my armor to be befitting of the prince, and I'll walk into the king's room, and I'd like make a point, like the door. I would assume if he's paying attention, like I'm not hiding it. I open the door.
So you're not invisible anymore.
Oh no, that's invisible. If he's in there, he just sees the door open. I don't.
Oh, you are still invisible.
I was still invisible. I didn't cast a spell, so I was still keep my invisibility up.
And so you're just opening the door?
Yes, that's what I just did. I say these things, they happen. I assume it's not locked. If it's not locked, well, if it's locked, I'll pick the lock. I don't know. Whatever I gotta do.
It is locked.
Well, let's pick the lock.
Give me a thieves tool check.
I am not proficient in thieves tools.
So this is just a d20, add your dex modifier then.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm not even doing that. I'll just drop invisibility. Is there anybody around?
Hey,
There are.
hey guys, real quick. Is there anything else that we're doing tonight, or is?
Nah, this is gonna be quick, and then we're gonna go to the wedding. So I don't think so, unless.
Is it cool if I go ahead and dip, or Gavin, did you have any last words for me?
I didn't. No.
Oh, we
Do
can't
what?
do the wedding tonight, dude. It's 11 o'clock.
Oh, I didn't know how long the wedding was gonna last.
Yeah, I'm doing this, and then as far as I'm concerned, we're at the wedding. So like we can do
Yeah.
the wedding the next time, but like let's.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. That we'll just.
All
get to
right.
where,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're there. So, yeah.
In fact, I can knock
Alright,
out some other BS stuff tonight if we're not doing anything else important for the wedding. So
Yeah,
I will.
think-
I will find
sorry,
myself.
what?
Oh yeah.
let me say this real quick, and then I'm actually gonna dip. I think right now, the screen would shift to like a montage of like Dorian freaking out and having a panic attack about the wedding. Like, no, decorations have to go over here. Why do you have white flowers, you fool? This is about the night mother. You gotta have the black roses. And then just like super montage at the chapel all day. And that's it.
And
I think
Okay.
that's exactly what he would be doing.
sitting there catching up with Paragon, and they're gonna just be ready to do whatever they have to do for the wedding.
Could you tell me how that conversation goes?
No.
All right. I'm out, guys. Y'all have a
Yeah,
good
man.
one.
All right, man. So,
The guards may or may not hear that are right outside the door handle rattle, and then they just hear a voice go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And then I walk off, and I go and find just a little private area somewhere where I'm not immediately being seen by people, and I will take out my compass of translocation, and I will use it to cast Dimension Door
and where are you teleporting to?
into the king's chambers.
Okay, looking like Rainer.
Yeah, because at that point the invisibility drops too.
Yeah.
So I
So-
think that takes 5. Let me
I
see.
think it's 4 charges. I want to say.
For Dimension Door, 4 charges, so that's down to 12. Because I assumed I was able to get at least 2 points back this morning, so it would have been back up to 16. So we lose 4, so now it's down to 12. Got it. All right. So I appear. Actually, yeah.
Keeping in mind, you left a giant scorch mark on the ground.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I'll go back and cast Mending if I need to, because I know Mending now. Poof! I'm here. Oh, and now I'll also go and cast Glibness. Because, you know. What else am I going to use
Why
it for
not?
today?
All right, so you appear in the throne room, and at first the guards are
Is
sort
it-
of surprised.
Is it the
a little
throne
caught off
room, or
guard.
is it his bed chambers?
Right now he's in the throne room.
Well, fucking, I'm in the throne room, which is apparently locked. I don't know why, but sure, yeah. Bam, bam, bam. Throne room.
So initially they're caught off guard when you suddenly appear, and as they raise their tridents, they just as quickly lower them when they recognize you as Rainer from Ralti.
Be at ease.
And so King Oshaka, or Oshkosh Bagosh, as you called him.
Yeah.
He looks to you and, my son, I was hoping you would return for the coming events. It's good to see you. How are you doing? Are you well?
I am quite well, father. And yourself?
Doing as well as could be expected.
Hmm. Unfortunately, I couldn't see myself attending the upcoming events. It's too much of a risk. We have too many people of high positions all gathering in one place, so I have no intention of being here tomorrow, which is why I did want to at least pay my respects today. I've already met with Shiziki, and I, of course, wanted to come and at least see you again, father. I plan to see Ravella here shortly.
Well, I'm glad you decided to.
I understand that while I was here before, I may not have had the best temperament, especially after you disregarded almost everything that I had been putting together for the city, but let's put that as water under the bridge, which should be fairly easy for our people. But I just wanted to come
I
and pay my respects, and I did want to see you again, father.
just for the record,
Mm.
I admit I allowed myself to be deceived, but I believe I acted as a just king. What king would not seek to defend his people if he was presented with information that led him to believe that they were being hunted by vampires? I made a mistake, I understand, but with the information I had, I acted in the kingdom's best interest.
Age does cloud judgment. Father, you have served this kingdom for some time, and you have served it to the best of your ability, and you have guided them through troubling times, but I'd like you to wonder if maybe, with all the upcoming events, everything that's happening, you might be better suited to a life of peace and tranquility. It might be about time for you to retire.
Would you seek to take the throne if I were to do so?
It's my responsibility, is it not?
It is. I will consider your words, but for now,
This
I
is
at least wish
not
to.
a decision to make this evening, of course, of course. But, Father, you've put your time in, you've done your due diligence. I ask of you, as a concerned son, it's time for you to be able to enjoy your golden years. In the upcoming days, enjoy this wedding tomorrow, enjoy the festivities, but reflect on it. There is a battle that is brewing, and I think it's time to go ahead and make sure that we have a strong leadership that will last for Primralty. And I think it would be a good time for someone that is not as acclimated, not as familiar with the battlefield, to step down. Think about it. If you choose not to, that is absolutely a respectable decision, but if you are ready to retire and you would like to pass on the role of king, I'm here and ready. But that is ultimately, of course, your decision. I'm afraid I won't be here tomorrow because after everything I had to go through before by making myself vulnerable to those that would harm me or my family, I just cannot see myself being at risk of being in the same place as all of the rest of the leadership of Alarath. I won't
My
be
son,
here.
the Dark Sons will be.
That's all well and wonderful, and I have the utmost confidence in the Dark Suns. Shiziki himself is a member, but all the same, it's an unnecessary risk, and it is upon my responsibility to make sure that there is someone that can take the reins if need be if something happens to the rest of you. I don't foresee that happening, but I cannot allow myself to put myself in unnecessary risk with everyone else being there making such a viable target. Think about what we talked about, Father. I'm sorry to cut this so short, but again, I just don't feel comfortable being in the same city as all these other members of Heads of State. I'll go ahead and give my regards to Ravella, but after that, I'll be removing myself from the scene.
I admire your caution, and while I wish you would be in attendance of this summit, for I believe your word would hold some weight, and as well as I think you would bring some wisdom to the table. I certainly understand.
My word goes with Shizuki. He represents me. He's done well with that so far, and to be honest, I don't have any reason to doubt him anyway. Just know, whatever I've had to say so far can carry weight with him. I have the utmost confidence in that man. Now then, unless there's anything else, I will bid you a fair evening, and I strongly suggest that you think about what I suggested. And I'll turn invisible and walk out.
Okay.
So, if we're not doing really anything else, I'm going to knock out one other filler conversation that would have taken some time, and I'd rather just do that now when nobody's waiting.
Okay. Um, I mean, I'm okay with that. Nick, did you have anything you wanted to knock out? I noticed you're still
Nah,
here.
I'm just chilling. Just
Okay.
sitting here.
I will turn back into Shizuki while I'm invisible, and I will go find Ravella.
And she's not too hard to find. You find her in her quarters, which you know exactly where those are.
I will walk into her quarters and stay invisible. And then I'll just go,
So she immediately takes notice that the door opened. Who's there? Who's there?
Popsicles!
Immediately at this point, with her being freaked the fuck out, you notice her stand up and she holds her hands out and they start glowing green.
Does she
Have
have the ironwood shield that I gave her at least around?
It's sitting on the table, but yeah, it's
Oh
there.
my god. I would just walk over, pick that thing up, and then I'll drop my invisibility.
Shizuki, as she drops her hands to her side.
I mean,
You
if you're
should've-
gonna defend yourself, I honestly gave you this to defend yourself.
I had just taken it off. I was about to enjoy a meal.
You hear some weird creepy noises, and then you still don't even go and get the one thing I gave you to keep yourself safe.
I apologize. Can
Oh,
I
don't
have it back,
apologize
please?
to me. I don't need you to apologize to me. I just want you to make sure you keep yourself safe.
You know, I have some strength of my own.
I'm sure you do. This will help that. Anyhow, I didn't come here to give a lecture. I came here to talk. And I will sit down on... she's in her room, right?
She is.
I'll stretch out on her bed.
You're just gonna lay down in her bed.
Yeah, and just like lay on my side, get comfy.
She looks at you like she wants to say something.
I cast
but
Mage
bites her
Hand and
tongue
close the
doesn't.
door behind me.
What did you...
Sit down, be comfy, don't get weird about it. Let's gab.
She goes and she sits down in a chair that's next to her bed.
So,
Doesn't even question the fact that you're laying in it.
I need to talk to you about the future. And I need to talk to you about, well, I guess, family. What do you want to do, Ravella?
I've been giving it a lot of thought lately, and
I'm sure you have. I know that. We talked about that a little bit. And I got that impression after you and Gwen split up, which is why I'm following up with that. What do you want to do going forward?
stop denying the tides of destiny and allow myself to fall where I should.
Well, where's
I need to
that?
I need to start thinking about being queen of my people. I've been ignoring that for a long time.
Well, here's my here's my offer to you. I know that's not what you want. You made that clear. You're falling into that because you feel that's what you're responsible for. I'm wanting, or at least willing, to give you your personal freedom if you want that. You don't have to rule Primalty. In fact, as it stands now, you're not next in line because of the things that you and I both know. But I
Which,
need you to
can I
tell
ask you
me.
about that?
Of course, that's why we're here today.
How would you plan to occupy two thrones at the same time? As far as I know, at least as of yet, you can't be in two places at once.
I'm a very methodical person that can operate
Resource.
in unmethodical ways. I tend to do a few things that may be a bit unorthodox, which I'm sure you're well aware of at this point. And changes are coming, and rules are only set by the ones that are in charge.
So, what would you say if I were to tell you that I've had a change of heart? That I want to rule my people? And what if, in conjunction with that, I swore to you to not only be an ally of Darkholm, but also an ally to your people, to Changelings?
I'm going to ask you
I've
a very honest question, and I want a very honest answer. You know, well, let me say, I'm sure you remember the deal that we made some time ago. The deal of you giving me your your blessing to act as your brother, which
Yes, I
you
remember. After you saved my life.
fulfilled in
But
some
I
ways, but in others didn't. And I told you that I would make sure that I grew your brother's reputation in the most positive way. I would make him a hero. I would go forth and make sure that what his true nature was would be buried, and he would become someone that your people could remember in the greatest of ways of history. He would be someone that you could be proud of. And I've done that without a doubt. I have
and
I have built a temple in your city, brought people because they think it's a beacon of hope. I have donated money, more money than was in the treasury, to act as something to help grow the economy here. I have made alliances with this city. I have done, oh, so many things for it in the short amount of time that I've had the authority to do so. My question to you is, do you think, honestly, and if you can tell me yes to this answer, I'll let you have the queenship. But if you can honestly tell me that you think that you would be a better leader of Royalty than I would in your lifetime of serving in royalty as opposed to the few and short amount that I've had, if you think that you would be a better leader in that role, I'll step aside and make sure that you take it. You take the throne. Is that what you believe?
you have leadership experience, Shiziki. I do not. But I think, given enough time, that I could be. One thing I can tell you is that I would have nothing but the best interest of my people at heart. I would have nothing but the best interest of that temple at heart. At this point she's starting to get a little animated. Changelings, shifters, even the vampires. I have no ill will against any of them. I promise I would be an ally to you forever, and any people that you align yourselves with.
At this point, Ravella, I don't need just your alliance. I need your loyalty. You've seen what I
And
can
you would
handle.
have it.
You have seen what I can do in a leadership role here. I need, if you want this, I need your servitude.
What do you mean?
I mean, I am going to unify this world. And if I am to lead that, I need to make sure that the people that are in charge of these places know who is leading them.
And that would be you?
You said it yourself. I have leadership experience. I have done all these things for this kingdom in a short amount of time that I was allotted, as well as others. If you can promise me that you will follow my leadership, which I have never done you wrong. I have never done this city wrong. I have followed and filled in and done everything that I promised you to the utmost degree. But yet, even then, you still denied me so many times as your brother. I need to know I have your word on this, and you will follow through.
You sense some hesitance in her as she pauses for a few seconds and says, I take issue with the word servitude. Loyalty, I do not. I will always be loyal to you, and I will always act in coordination with you, and I will always act with not only my best interest, but yours. But what you're saying is if you say jump, I jump. You could give
Mm.
me a command one day that
Because
what a
I know better. And I know that sounds rude, and I'm sorry that it does. But this is at the point of talking about a kingdom's worth of lives on the line of who can make that better decision. You abandoned these people when you ran off. As soon as I was given the role to make sure that they were taken care of, I fulfilled it to the utmost degree. I've
and you
done
think I
more
don't regret
improvement.
that?
I've done more improvement for these people than you ever did. So yes, when I say servitude, it's because I'm looking out for their best interest, and whatever decision you may have, I will listen to. But I still need to ensure that I have that authority to veto it, to make sure that these people are taken care of, because this city, Primralty, is now the home of my people, and I will make sure that they're taken care of. And I understand that you have the best interest of them at mind, is what you're telling me, but I want to make sure that I have the utmost authority about it. And I will not bend on that decision whatsoever. You will adhere to this, or we have nothing else to speak about.
Make a persuasion check.
Alright. Well, I have glibness up, so that becomes a 33.
I'm waiting for my roll to finally show up. She says, if you can swear to me that you will never ask me to act against my own people, I will agree to this on the one condition that if you ask me in any way to perform any action that is harmful directly to my people, that is where my servitude ends. But up until that point, I agree.
I don't want you to do anything that's going to be harmful to the people. That's the entire reason I'm looking out for them. I will never ask you to do anything that will harm yourself or the people that you have to overlook.
I don't just mean the changelings and the shifters, even the vampires.
That's also
I
a
will
33.
always. Okay. Let me make another one. She says, just don't ask me to do anything that would hurt the Water Ganassi people. And under that condition, I agree.
All right. That being said, I know, like I said, you haven't accepted me as family. No matter what you said you would, but you honestly haven't. And I felt like I've put a burden on you repeatedly by trying to make you accept that. I'm going to
If we're
remove that.
speaking freely, it's not that I haven't accepted you, it's that does there are various levels of power in this world, and let's say to a gazelle, a lion is something to be intimidated by. But say this lion were to encounter a dragon, his power ends at that point. I am that lion and you are that dragon, if that makes any sense. I know how strong you are.
Even so, friendship between levels of power can exist, but it seems there's just been a certain stigma with me trying to force myself into the role of a family member to you. Look,
Let me make no
I'm.
mistake.
Let me finish, please. I'm removing that burden from you. Rainer, as it were, will go out on a high note, in a blaze of glory, with everything that he's done. His story will be ending soon. And
And
then you will
make
know
no
me.
mistake,
Oh,
the fact that my brother will not be remembered as a traitor, will be remembered as he once was, not how he ended his life, that you will always have my undying gratitude for. If not for that, if we're being transparent, I would likely have not agreed to your contract, and despite how powerful you might be, the lion may have attempted to fight the dragon. It is for that reason, for the respect that I have for you, that I'm willing to go along with you on this. You have my gratitude. I cannot express the degree for preserving his memory.
well, let it be said. We came into each other's lives for the most ridiculous of circumstances, and not even the most favorable. But I'm glad it did
I believe
happen.
I had 4 broken limbs whenever you first found me. But I'm glad it happened too. Truly.
And I honestly do think that hopefully, going forward, with the changes that are happening and everything in the chaos of the world ahead, that we can continue to look out for each other and work together. Maybe in a slightly different capacity than what we had up to now, but maybe even a better way.
Perhaps tomorrow we can make this in a official capacity, perhaps an alliance between the people of Darkholm and the people of Primralty.
There's a fair chance of that. In fact, I happen to make one last pop in as Rainer to your father. I didn't quite say goodbye, but I did want to at least give him one tidbit of advice and recommend his retirement. You might want to help push that idea on him if you could. Because to be honest, in the upcoming days of the future Permalty, I would much rather be with someone that I know is up and coming as opposed to someone that's out the door.
Do not judge my father too harshly for his recent actions. Granted, if I were in
It's
his shoes.
it's not a matter of what he is, it's what you're becoming.
Oh, let me preface this by saying that I agree with you. Um,
Then
if I were in his shoes, I would not have put out a hunt against an entire group of people, even if it was a single vampire that had been responsible, even if there, though I don't know all of the details, but I detect some degree of subterfuge involved in the plot that painted them in such a negative light.
But
Well,
even if it was as
I would hope so,
clear,
considering I gave him a full warning. I literally told her what was going on. Anyway, yeah, of course, Ravella. God damn this chick. Okay, anyway, yes, Ravella.
that was the DM forgetting that you gave her the warning. She was like, but still what she said stands, where she basically said, even if it had been as transparent as that, you shouldn't punish an entire group of people for the actions of one. That's foolishness.
Which, again, I think it might be best that the current king retire, enjoy his golden years, and let his children, or at least his child, true child, take over the reins. And I want to make sure, of course, Ravella, that if you need me, I am still here for you, as much as I expect you to be there on my word. But that being said, I'd really like it if you didn't die again. And I want you to take this. And I will reach into my bag and pull out a staff of healing.
She looks at it, and actually, yeah, she can use that. She's a druid.
Yes, you can. I was holding on to that one specifically for her.
This is a fine item.
Well, yes, I got it specifically for you after what happened in our last encounter. It took me quite a bit of time and money and effort to be able to get, but I had to make sure I got something like this for you, Ravella.
Oh, sorry. Did I cover that up with the seeds? I mean, yeah, that's bullshit.
In fact, let me make another deception roll. Yeah, 15, which Glib did speak of 15, so it's 32.
That is a strong 18 on my part. A strong
Almost
18.
there. And I will go ahead and delete the Staff of Healing from my inventory.
I will take this. Thank you.
Use it with the shield, please. And make sure that you take care of yourself.
I will. And I can sense it. I've been having turbulent dreams. I know that dark days are coming, and I know that you will be involved in its resolution. So,
might I ask, have you had any more dreams about the Avatar of Annihilation?
every night.
Do you happen to see where he may be?
I believe it to be pandemonium.
That's my understanding too. I didn't know if he was making his way in this direction. I would very
It
much.
appears as though he is still regenerating.
Very well. I will make my way. I will graciously nod. I won't bow to Ravella. Fuck that noise. I will give her a hug, actually. I'll give her a hug. You take care of yourself, Ravella. With everything going on.
She doesn't attempt to pull back from the hug or anything, so she reciprocates. You did the same, and in your own words, I'd appreciate it if you don't die.
I don't think I can. But yes, I'll do the best I can. And I appreciate your upcoming support with everything. And I will make my way out the door. And I'll say for one last thing, I will cast a spell right before I go to bed.
And what would that be?
I will cast... where the motherfuck is it? I know it's in here. Speak with the plane. And I'll lock the door of wherever it is I'm at.
That's a nifty spell.
Speak with other plane. And I get, what is it, 5 questions?
I'm looking up the details now. This is why I love playing online.
Where is it?
You mean contact other plane?
Sure, whatever that is. Oh, there it is. Contact other plane. Yeah. Yeah. 5 questions. I think it is.
Hey, so I'm reading the details of here. You actually make that intelligence
No, I don't
saving
want to do
throw
that first. We're gonna make this
beforehand.
homebrew that I get asked for 5 questions beforehand, because otherwise it sucks. I want to
Give
say
me
it's
that.
afterward.
Give me that intelligence saving throw.
You know what? I'll make a persuasion check to see if I can convince you that this works. You know what? It's a 29. Man, I'm pretty sure I got a strong argument.
Well, let's see. As with the DM's authority, I rolled.
You know, I was bored and I increased my charisma to like 1100 earlier. Do I need to do that again?
My roll is 1,899.
Yeah, actually, I've rolled that before. Intelligence check. Come on, you can't just give this to me. Fine.
See, that doesn't beat my 54,621. Because I
Oh,
literally
snap,
rolled
baby!
5,224 dice.
I'm
Yeah.
good. I made it.
You did. So, yeah, you're set. You get 5 questions.
All right.
You must ask your questions before the spell ends. I can answer with one word or a short sentence if I don't like a word.
I will focus on the Avatar of Annihilation.
Okay.
Question number 1. Why are you such a bitch?
Why are you such a bitch?
That is my first question.
The response you get is because I fucked your mother.
Is that really what he says?
Yes.
Question number 2. Are you my actual papa then?
I placed all the pieces on the board where they needed to be.
That ain't no yes, no. Come on. All right.
You know the Avatar of Annihilation is female. That's been presented to you.
All right. Question number 3. Bitch, why are you playing so much?
Haters gonna hate.
That is not what he says. You can't Chaz a Shaz, alright? This is my thing.
The hate is gonna hate. This is why I say. This is why
Do I
say.
have to change my questions to make it more like actual grounded, or am I just gonna get just BS coming back to me with this?
You give me BS, you get BS.
No, I give you BS because that's what Shaz does. He's the Avatar of Annihilation. He ain't hurt Tupac. He doesn't know these lines.
All right, what was the question again? I'll give you a redo.
I'll
on
just
that
change
one.
my question entirely. So, are you planning on continuing to hide, or are you actually going to show yourself?
When the time comes, I will be made whole again. Is the words you get.
That
You take
sounds like
that
you.
to mean that you are currently wielding a part of her. You know she wants antithesis more than anything.
Let's be honest. You're truly just afraid of me at this point, aren't you?
A god knows no fear. There will come a time where you won't be able to rely on your allies.
I don't need allies. Feel free to come. Actually, this has got to be a question. I don't need allies. Would you
When
like
are
to
you
come
coming?
towards me one on one?
Repeat the question.
I
Sorry,
don't
something
need
about
allies, comma. Would you like to come face me one on one?
when my regeneration is completed, you will see me.
I think that's 4. I think I get one more.
Yeah, you're at 4.
So you can, yeah, actually, so realistically, you're just planning on hiding, or when is your regeneration?
That one, you get a response. I don't plan on hiding, but that I don't know.
Oh, what a
It's
bitch.
longer. It's
Alright.
longer every time I die.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, whatever. She ain't coming. And if she does anytime soon, then she should know. I would imagine anybody that's regenerating, it's like the same thing. It's, if I broke my leg, I'm like, man, I don't know, my leg's gonna heal. But I'm like, man, it looks like it's gonna be any day or two now. Like, I would know that. The fact that she's just like, I don't know, I'm like, well, she's got a ways off.
Yeah, you would imagine.
Man,
I
I
mean,
gotta.
what
Do I
what
know anybody
what
with
she
plane shift? Oh, you know what Velasquez has plane shift? I'm gonna go fucking get that bitch. I'm gonna go get her. I'm gonna get her like a goddamn Pokemon. Let's go. That's it. That's my deal. I'm done. I will go to sleep. And you know I will. I'll spend probably about an hour after that going through various different outfits that I think I may want to wear tomorrow.
and by that you really just mean changing the form of your armor to look like different outfits.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
Hair up, hair down. I don't know.
All right, I'll
Man, I
catch
thought
y'all
I
later.
needed to. All right, I'll talk to you later, man. I thought I needed to have a full wedding registry built by today. Nope. I'll be using that next session.
And that's what I kind of figured. But at least tomorrow morning's day of the wedding, so we're going right into that biz.
Yeah. It's funny that I was planning on like the wedding happening like 2 sessions ago.
I knew this was going to happen. This is exactly what I was expecting. At least we knocked out a lot of the long conversations that I knew I needed to do.
Yeah, and everybody seems to have sort of started tying up some loose ends.
Yep, yep, yep.
So you can probably cut the recording now at this point.
Okie dokie.